Welcome to the Bob and Tam show tonight.
And our excellent adventures.
There you go. Starting out a little early today. We're already in here ready to set up in the studio. So we thought, what the heck? If some of you are already on, we'll give you the benefit of a little bit of a freebie
Dennis.
talking to you. And or if you just came on and said hi and then you left and coming back, then you already missed all this for the first 5 minutes previewing of the excitement of what's going on tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about Arizona Bike Week. We'll give a little wrap up of Daytona Bike Week, what we thought, besides the video you've seen about a week ago. Tell you a little bit about what I've been doing in the shop. If you haven't been checking out the other channel, the Bob and Tam's Cars, Trucks, and Tools. Had a couple TikTok videos that did really well. I was really shocked. Couldn't believe that more people seem to be watching TikTok than actually Facebook or Instagram, which is interesting. So you can kind of let us know down here in the comments if you are wherever that
it's over here to us. I guess it's here.
So let me go ahead and throw this up on our Facebook pages. One of these times I'll have to see about, because TikTok, I think we can go live on that too.
Oh, can you?
I don't quite sure how it all works, but definitely figure that out.
Evil Empire says he's got to go for a few minutes. Grandkids are there for an Easter egg hunt. So yeah, happy Palm Sunday to everybody. No Leesburg this year. Yes, we will be going to Leesburg. We leave at the end of the month, end of April. Into this week, which will be the 1st of April, we're going to go to Arizona Bike Week. So we'll be headed down there next Friday. So in 6 days, I guess. So there you go. I did another Tam Time video. Bob's working on it. So he'll get that up probably Monday or Tuesday, I would think. A couple of things he's got to tweak. It was really windy. The day I picked to do it, it was really windy and the sound is horrible, but doing the best we can with it, I guess. Hey, Bob, can't wait to see you in Arizona. Yes, we'll be there in Arizona. And that is, can't tell the name. I can see it from here or not. This won't help. These are for close up, not far away. And I don't know why my live chat is not working. There's nobody on there.
Those 15 watching.
I don't know why mine's not doing that.
That's Facebook.
We'll be there on the 7th. All right. So we're going to get there on the 1st. Is that when August?
No, I don't think. 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd. Friday the 3rd, we'll be down there.
So we're going to do Cave Creek first. We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday, we move over to Westworld. And we'll be staying there the rest of the time all the way through the following Monday. So Monday to Monday, we'll be. You can check us out at those locations. We're going to find out how big a party place is for the campground. I seen that they offer golf carts and all kinds of other crazy stuff.
I couldn't tell by your name. I guess I do see Saul Souls now. Much easier when you know what it says, then you can see it. Talk about Harley dealerships?
Maybe.
Someone had reached out to us about that. Not necessarily always.
We won't call his name out. He's actually another YouTuber.
Well, just say somebody called us.
That's what I said. And I'm not going to call him out because he might want to do a video on it. So we'll talk a little bit about it. And if you figure out when he puts his video out that we talked about it, you can come back and let us know. And well, let me finish. And then to say.
Well, this person thinks that it's Harley Davidson's that's the big screw up, and it's not. It's the dealerships themselves, the people that own the franchise. So if you're interested in going to buy a bike or you're looking to buy a bike, please reach out to us first. We'll let you know any information we have on that dealership, because there are some dealerships we will not recommend and we won't broadcast it live. But if you call us in person or email us, we will let you know.
Yes. All the dealerships are independently owned. Harley Davidson doesn't own any of the dealerships. Just to let you know, White Castle is now being owned by corporate only. They're actually closing two of them up in Las Vegas, just FYI. Just to kind of let you know, it's like our, is it Chick-fil-A that has their all company-owned stores?
Chick-fil-A, I believe.
And so, which makes it nice because they've got more control over it. Well, Harley Davidson doesn't have that. Indian.
Or was it In and Out?
I don't know.
One of those two.
Yeah, I think it was. But beside the point. So let's talk a little bit about Harley Davidson. First of all, there is one group of owners that will screw you, guaranteed. We got screwed by them. Also, a lot of our friends got screwed by them. They own probably somewhere between the neighborhood of about 28 of them to about 50 of them throughout their family name. And we're not going to give that out because I don't want a slander lawsuit or anything like that. But if you're happy to call us or email us, now, not on here, I'm not going to do it, but I will give you a private email. You email us to bobandtams@yahoo.com. We'll be happy to direct you to stay away from that dealership. If we ever get out of doing this, then yes, we'll call out a lot of these dealerships that will screw people. But there's a ton of great dealerships all over the United States that we recommend highly. Just to rattle off a couple. One, we have our great dealership that's right down the road from us, which is Red Rock Harley Davidson. I can't say enough about them. They're a great dealership. Take care of everybody. If you ever have, one of the things we always say is if you have a problem with the dealership, contact us. We'll be happy to help you. Actually, that's what happened to one of our friends. He was actually at a dealership. He decided to trade his bike in and get a used bike. And he's like, they give like a 91 point inspection, which he first gave me a voicemail, and I'm kind of laughing about the inspection and stuff. They're not doing too much of nothing. Well, he pretty much put about 200 miles on the bike. He kind of stayed around the dealership, and his dashboard, the computer went off. And next thing you know, the bike died. So he sat there a few minutes. He started to back up. He got it running again, but the dashboard, nothing was on the radio. It's a 2016 bike, so it's a newer bike. It's got the newer information and stuff on a computer and all that in there. Well, he ended up finally taking it back to the dealer, and they said, "Oh, let us check it out. And they said, "Oh, it's the battery." He said, "No problem. I got that 30-day warranty." "Oh, sorry.
All parts included," it says.
"Oh, sorry. The battery's not considered parts." So really, you have to watch that if you're buying anything, even a car or anything. It gives you a 30-day warranty. 90% of the time, all it's covering is the motor and the drivetrain. Anything else, they're not going to cover. They tell you it's a warranty, which it is a warranty on the bike or the car or the vehicle, but you need to read what's included in it. And if you don't want to buy the extended warranty from them, you can contact us and we'll show you later on, anytime in life. Just like my 2014, if I decided I wanted to get a warranty on it, I have a company we can call that will give us a warranty on it, exactly like the one Harley Davidson is selling to you, your dealership is selling.
Ding.
So just FYI. But yes, there's another great dealership is Matt Laidlaw's over in LA. He's got his own channel here. Our buddy Art bought his bike from there, and I could not, actually Grandpa took care of us. It's been a generation store. 3 generations have been running that store. But this is in 2015, I think it was, that Art bought this bike from them. And we were sitting there, and Grandpa came by and seen us. Well, we went out there because Art is a typical Mexican that's kind of short. And not all Mexicans are short, but great friend. And he had bought a bike, and he wasn't real happy with it, the way that it said. He wasn't comfortable. They were coming out with those new ultra lows, limited. And he always liked my bike with all the bags and everything on it. And I said, Art, let's go ride over there and check out the demo ride. You could ride one. And, you don't have to buy anything. We'll just go check it out. We'll spend the day over there. So we went out there. We rode over to the dealership. And this is Matt Laidlaw's. And went over there, and we went to the truck and said, "Hey, how soon can you?" And they said, "Well, it's about a 2-hour wait." And he's like, "Okay," he put his name in. And I said, we got nothing else to do. Let's just hang around here and we'll watch people go around. They got some bands playing. They had a bunch of stuff going on. So, we're sitting inside next to this. There was an Ultra sitting there, a red one, kind of a burgundy bike. And Grandpa walks by. And my buddy was kind of looking at it, and he said,
because they had one on the floor.
Yeah, only one. And so he walked up to him and he said, "Oh, you're interested in this bike?" And he says, "Well, I don't know. I'm going to go. I've got a demo ride in about 2 hours." He says, "Hang on, I'll be right back." So he walks back and he puts a sold sign on. I'm like, "What'd you do? Did you just sell the bike without giving us a shot?" He said, "No, I'm holding it for you. That bike is sold until he gets the demo ride and he can make a decision." And I'm like, holy crap. He went in and out probably within 15 minutes of buying the bike. From the time he went in the office to sign the paperwork and everything out, he was out in 15 minutes. Bob. And we were riding home on the bike.
And the bike that he had just recently bought, but he already had he probably only had it for 3 or 4 months, had over 20,000 miles on it.
It wasn't that many. He had it long. He had it over.
Anyway.
Miles on it. But they even gave him top dollar on the bike. Back then, we were thinking about 17,000 he would get on the bike. And this is like in 2020. No, it's 2015, because that's when he traded. He had, I guess his bike was a 2014 Street Glide. And they ended up giving him like 19,000 trade-in, and he paid like 18,900 for it. So they turned around and gave him almost exactly what he had paid for it out at Mother Road Harley out here by us in Kingman, Arizona. So there's a lot of great dealers. We have another great dealer that's over there in Vermont. That only dealership in Vermont. And what's the name of their dealership?
Wilkins.
Yep, great dealership there. The owner will take same thing. It's a generation store. It's been passed down 3 generations.
Grandson owns it now, just like Matt owns Laidlaw.
And there's a lot of good
John
ones.
owns Wilkins.
Daytona Harley, I'm pretty happy with them, but I know they're not as flexible with selling bikes as good as they have. But I mean, like I say, if you have any trouble with any of the dealers that we talk about, you can always contact, even if it's a dealer. That's how we found out about Wilkinson. Somebody was kind of complaining about them, wrote us a letter, ended up, the owner bent over backwards to make it right. And he said, what do you think? And I'm like, you did more than I would have done. And so
above and beyond call.
But yes, there is a lot of, it's just like anything. You're going buying a new Ford truck. You go to a dealer and that dealership could just crap all over you. You could go buy a Honda and that dealership craps all over you. There's a lot of crappy people out here doing business. We even have restaurants.
Doesn't even mean motorcycles. It's everything.
Yeah.
Customer service is
gone. Used to be when we grew up in the 80s and had businesses and stuff, it was always the customer's right. Well, not always, but that was always the rule that you kind of said to everybody. Now, more times, if you want to complain about something, as soon as you start opening your mouth, they're already yipping back at you. And it's like, I didn't even tell you what my problem is yet. Well, the idea of a good customer service person is they sit there and they listen to you. Nod their head while you're. And when you get all done, go, what would you like us to do to take care of it? And they said, then you hear what their story is. Sometimes people just want to blow off some steam. They're just not happy with what's going on.
TV Live, we seen that last night. The cop pulled up and the guy was just irate, screaming and yelling and cussing the cop out. And he's like, okay, are you done?
And the cop was so cool. It was ridiculous. I was just waiting for him to throw him in cuffs. And he never did. And the guy just kept going on and on and on and on.
And he said, some people just need to let off some steam. He might have had a bad day and he just put all out on that cop.
Yes. So that's possible. It's just like Indian dealers. There's some Indian dealers that we won't go in. I have some Harley Davidson dealers that you won't see us inside their building talking to anybody at rallies, that we don't have a relationship with them. I kind of look at the same thing when I go to dealerships. One of the first things I do when I go into a showroom is I stand there and I watch. I watch people looking at a bike. I watch the salesman coming up to them. The dealerships that I hate is as soon as you walk, you pull your bike up to the front door or parking lot. Here comes 3 to 4 guys trying to sell you. What do you want? Oh, you want to trade your bike in? What do you need? What do you need? What are you
looking for? What do you want?
Give me time to get in the front door. I don't mind having having a salesman come talk to me, but I don't need to be attacked by them when they're coming to the front door. But some of these dealerships are like that. Or they're like, what can you pay? Can you pay $300 a month? How about $400 a month? What can you pay? Those are the dealerships you really want to stay away from.
Turn around and run.
That isn't anywhere. Even in a car lot, if you go to a new car dealership and the first thing out of their mouth is, what is your payment you wanting to spend? My best guy, which we bought a car here in town, wasn't really necessarily looking to buy a car. And the first thing he said was when I walked up, he said,
if I can make you the deal that you want, can I sell you a car today?
And I said, of course, because nobody ever walks into any establishment with the invitations of, I'm not buying nothing. It's all about finding something that you want at a good value and for them to find the money in your pocket to pay for that. That's what everybody's about. And normally we all say the same thing. When a salesman comes up to us, we say, we're just looking. And we're not. We're all there to buy. Just like that, if your wife is in a store and we just went to get her some stuff for makeup and stuff. We stopped over here at a store a while ago. There might have been something I might have seen. Well, I did. I actually walked by the goop that I put in my hair. Little tube one at $29.95. I pay that much on Amazon for the big tub. So, but I did. If I had no intentions, it's mainly a woman's store that mostly women come in there. Might be some men come in there, but I've never seen any in there other than me. And so when I went by, I did look. If that would have been a good price, I would have bought it. But I had no intentions when I walked through the door. She was spending the money to get what she wanted. That's the only reason we came in the door. But that's a true salesperson. I've sold stuff my whole life. We're selling you by just being.
We're selling you us. Are you buying it?
And so it's the whole life of this is, and it's sad that people have lost that momentum of taking care of a customer. There's a whole story that I can tell you. It's called the 5 yeses. If I can get you to say 5 yeses, and I'm trying to sell you this cup, at the end, I shut up. And the first person that talks loses. If I speak, I lost the sale. If you speak, you bought the cup. And that's just the way life is. It works that way because if I answer everything that you have is is we were at a dealership, which I won't say where this was at, but it was a dealership we had stopped at in Florida. And I just needed the background of the store because we were going to do an intro for you
Hey,
guys.
Doug.
And we've been in the store before, this Harley
Nebraska.
dealership. And I was waiting for the service manager to get done talking. One of the other salesmen came up and was talking. This guy had come in and looked at a Pan American. It's like his third time that this guy's walked in. And he walked, and so he walked back out, and the salesman came up to the service manager or sales manager. I'm not quite sure what he was. Maybe it might have been sales manager. And the sales manager said, "Did you sell it?" And he's like, "No, he's got a."
He wants his wife to come look at it.
And so after they got done talking, I said, I don't want to butt in, but why didn't you send a car for her? Came out of his mouth was, "Want a job?" I'm like, "No, but I'd be happy to come in and train you for a price. Come in and train your salespeople to learn how to sell and make sure that you get a good deal and make sure you treat people fairly." And that's really what it's all about. Because if somebody just like us, I've never bought anything from Wilkins Harley Davidson in Vermont. But if I was in that area and I needed a bike or I needed something done, I would have no hesitation to go there because I know they would take care of me. Same thing with Red Rock Harley Davidson. We've got a great relationship with them. They've got an excellent shop. They've got one of the best dyno people in the world that's there. He actually used to race. I don't know if he still does it or not. He used to race down at the Salt Flats. He had a record there for a while. And so great guy. And but I mean, what's nice is when you get in there and you're able to talk to him. But some of these dealerships, which is the ones we're not going to talk about that own all these different dealerships, and there's some in Florida, there's some in California, there's some in different states. So they're around.
Colorado. They're all over the United States. They're not just on the West Coast. They're not just on the East Coast. They're all over.
But see, it's like our dealership, our owner that owns our dealerships here. He's got eight dealerships. I think. You can go on Red Rock Harley Davidson. You can look down at the bottom. It gives you all the different dealerships they have. But what John does that owns that is he lets each dealership do their own thing. He has one guy that oversees all the dealerships. And other than that, John just kind of pops in once in a while. And that's about it. If you've seen him walking through one of the dealerships, you would never know he was an owner. He's not in the car business. He's got a ranch out here by us. And I don't know where he got his money. But he's a very nice guy. And he'll never come on channel. He doesn't like to be on camera. But what he does is that, which makes it kind of cool, because like if you go to Las Vegas and let's say you went to Las Vegas on the Strip, which is most likely most people would stop at, and you look at that big fancy dealership and you go in there and maybe maybe they got the bikes really marked up. Maybe they got a 20% upgraded, which I have no idea what they're selling them for. And then you might go over to Henderson Harley, which is also owned by them. And maybe you'll head over to Red Rock and you say, these dealerships must be owned all by different people because each one had a different price on their bike. That's because the GM is running it the way they want. And that's, at first I thought that was really stupid, but what in turn is because this company that this Harley Davidson owners that we don't like, their dealerships are cookie cut. High pressure sales, whatever it takes, will lie in your face and you'll buy it until you get home and you're like, holy crap, I got a 20-year loan on this thing. How the hell?
Well, and their name tags are kind of like strippers when you go to a strip club. That ain't their name. But they all got weirdo names like Tito and Fish and all this stuff. And it's like, I guess supposed to be biker names. I don't know.
But yes, there is a lot of them out there. If I was looking to buy, like this friend of mine that called me, when I ended up telling him, because he was actually not too far from us, I said, you could have went to Red Rock. Well, first I said, you could have went to Matt Laidlaw's over there. Really?
Much better.
Because when he called me a couple of weeks ago and said he bought a bike from this dealership, I'm like, first thing I told her is hopefully he didn't get screwed. Which he did. He paid a little more for the bike than he should have paid, but he's happy with it, and and that's great. That's all that matters. But he was just very upset that they weren't going to warranty the battery, which he ended up.
They ended up giving him a battery.
He had a way to prove to them if they didn't want to give him a bad battery. He knows a lot of people, and that could be a bad thing for them. So they ended up giving him the 100, which that must be a cheap battery because I think he only said it was $150 or something. I don't know where he got must be a pretty cheap battery for $150.
Yeah, how much was your last one?
200. So there you go. If you got any more questions about Harley Davidson dealers, they're not all the same.
Yes, they're not. So feel free to reach out and tell us the name of the people you're going to deal with, or maybe you've been dealing with a dealership for years, and if they're good, let us know so we can let other people know, because we don't know all the dealerships by far. We don't know hardly any. Well, compared to how many there are in the United States. we don't hardly know any. So we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, that's our email. So feel free to email us if you want. Neil was saying in St. Croix, Wisconsin, the owner at St. Croix, Harley Davidson, it says in New Richmond, Wisconsin, is outstanding.
And like I said, there's a lot of really good ones out there, but there's also some crappy ones. But I mean, that's in any place you go. There's always, it's just like us. We've always been, was it In-N-Out that the person was snooty to us?
Yes, one time.
Out of all the times, we probably invaded In-N-Out probably 500 times, maybe. And in one town, this person
it's supposed to have been the largest In-N-Out.
And so we went to this dealer, went to this In-N-Out. We ordered the food, and we came back. And
well, no, they always repeat it back to you. And we both were going to get a burger. We were going to split an order of fries. So I said one order of fries. So when she repeated it back to me, he doesn't like his fries crunchy. So she said 2 double doubles and 1 well done fry, and well done fry. And I said, no, just one fry, 1 order of fries, regular. And she's like, that's not what you said. And I'm like, okay, but that's what I want. I just want a regular order of fries, not well done.
And one of the reasons we don't go to McDonald's anymore, because we pretty much every time we've gone in there, they've always gave us an attitude. And this is probably
they want you to use the kiosk. You walk up, they won't even look at you.
3 years now that we haven't eaten McDonald's. And same thing. It's I like my things plain. There's certain things we like a certain way, and the machine won't allow you to do that. So she wants to go to the counter, and then they want to give you an attitude. Go up there and take care of that.
There's kiosks over there. I said, I know, but I have a question.
I don't need the business. It's kind of like when the pandemic was out here in 2020 and 2021, how many restaurants wouldn't let us sit inside? Well, if we're traveling across the United States, going from here to Daytona or to Sturgis, wherever we're going, if I'm going to eat, I want to go in someplace and eat. I don't want to sit in my truck and eat with the possibility of spilling something or getting something all over me or something like that. I like to sit in the place that I've ordered my food at. So there was a lot of restaurants that we pulled in the parking lot that said the dining room was closed. Well, you just lost out on whatever we would have spent. And so it is what it is. That's a choice they made to be closed, and that's fine with me. They don't want my business. I'm okay with that too. It's like a dealership. If there's somebody that you walk in, you get a bad attitude from somebody, sometimes it could just be an employee that had a bad attitude. You know, maybe they had somebody already jump down their throat, so then they're kind of snappy with you. Sometimes it's worth giving another shot to talk to somebody else there. Me, it just depends on, pretty much that's what I am. If I go in a place, somebody gives me an attitude, I'm kind of, that's it. I'm out of here. I won't be back. Dealerships and stuff, normally most of the time with dealerships, you're best to make you a connection in the dealership. It could be a salesperson. It could be the parts manager. It could be the guy that cleans the bikes. It could be a mechanic that's end up knowing somebody like us. When we used to belong to our hog group, there's quite a few of the girls that worked inside, which we end up meeting some of the service managers, or not manager, but some of the service writers and stuff. We knew some of them. Didn't really know any, maybe we knew a couple salesmen, but we kind of didn't really know anybody up higher than that. So you could always talk to somebody.
We knew the owner.
Well, yeah, that was useless too. But so it is what it is. In our case, what ends up happening with a lot of the dealerships that we don't cover during motorcycle rallies is because they want us to only deal with their marketing department. Other than 1 or 2 dealerships, most of the marketing companies that we deal with don't know crap about nothing. They don't know nothing about motorcycles. They think because they have a Facebook page with 200 people on it and they have a YouTube channel that has 25 people in it, that whatever we're doing
is not going to benefit them.
Yes. So we just did a thing the other day. We got a big thing, which I don't know if I'll announce it or not, but we just had one of our vendors hired us just to do videos for him during Daytona Bike Week. And you might have seen some of those come up. And he ended up, the average is you should make somewhere between 10 cents and up to $3 per click, depending on how big a YouTuber you are. Ended up, after the clicks got all done here, I made $0.015. So he got a great deal, because most people don't realize that we are probably the only ones out here doing what we do. A lot of people try to imitate us and they try to do stuff. And the problem is they don't really know what they're doing. And so what we do is we're the only one giving out information on what's going on. And most of you that have been around a long time with us, pretty much I tell you the way it is. And so people rely on that. I have somebody just called us today and said, hey, I'm thinking about getting this put on my bike. What do you recommend? And so I tell them what I like and tell them what I think, and they can, it's optional. I don't make anything on the stuff that those people tell us. We do have some sponsors that help us out. This gentleman paid us a couple $100 to do these ads for him. And we have we don't have any big time, nobody giving us, some of these
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Some of these YouTubers out here are making between $10,000 and $150,000 off of some of the sponsorships that
nice.
But you can kind of tell when they talk about it, like let's say Harley's giving them something, that everything they touch at Harley is wonderful. Well, we're not that way. And that might be a reason we are not really given that much info. They want us to call us, but they do a bunch of stuff. They brought a lot of creators out here to Las Vegas to do a bunch of demo rides January or whatever, when the new bikes were coming out. And we said, we're only 90 miles from there. Whoa. And if you watch her two wheels, she went to it and she tells you, they don't really pay for anything. They'll pay for your airline ticket and your motel room. Well, they wouldn't even have paid for that. They would have paid for our mileage to get there and mileage to get back, 90 miles each way. And they would have paid for a hotel. And you would have got us to take the bikes out and ride. She does have a motorcycle license too. So we could be getting two for the price of one. So, but I don't know why. I don't know. It's not the end
we
of the
don't
world.
Strictly do Harley. We do motorcycles.
But
so
some
Harley
like her two wheels. She's also doing some other bikes too. So she's talking about other bikes too. So it's like, Adam Sandoval, he was a big Harley guy for a while. He's gone to Indian. He's gone back and forth with different bikes too.
Trans Am.
So it's not necessarily, because that's kind of what I thought. I thought maybe it was because we're not. But I think a lot of it is they may not like that we tell you like it is. And they may not like that kind of attitude, which is what we are, and that's the way we are. And when we started this channel, that was what we were told by some bigger YouTubers that were actually in the RV business. They were RVers that had big channels, and because that's what we were going to be. And they just said two things you want to be is one, be who you are, don't pretend to be somebody you're not, and two, make sure you answer all the comments, because people are spending time to watch your videos. You should answer their comments. So I answer, like somebody the other day, XN Biker said, I know, Bob, you watched this, read this, but you don't need to respond to it. Well, I still said thanks. But it's just, it's in my clockwork. That's just what I read everybody's comment. I see what you say. If it's somebody like when I did the police video, the more the videos get views, the more you get the clowns that come out. And they always say something stupid. And some of them, you can tell all they did is look at the thumbnail and they made a comment. And so sometimes some of them I just write thanks for watching. Some of them I'll actually say, apparently you didn't watch the video, or apparently you didn't understand what they were saying, because they were trying to talk about that they do a safety check on the bikes when they pull in. No, they're not pulling the bike in and lifting it on a lift and looking at it all, because they were talking about tires. Well, and that's why I said, I told one guy that they're looking at you, kind of glance at your tire. No, they're not going to give you a ticket for a tire. But if they seen some damage on it, they may say you need to call a wrecker or something because of safety. But I said, let's say the cop didn't look at your tire and you pull back out and you jump out on the highway and do about 100 miles an hour and your front tire blows out because there was a slit in it, and you get crippled for the rest of your life. Now, wouldn't you have liked it if the police officer would have said, hey, dude, there's a slit in your tire, just FYI?
Might want to get that checked.
Yes.
That's probably all they're going to say. They're not going to say, all right, pull it over. We're going to impound your bike because you got a slit in your tire.
But it's because it happened to us, not by the police, but my bike 2 years ago, the year before that, I had put a brand new tire on the back of my bike. Actually, it was done over in California. So we had rode it, probably didn't have 1,500 miles on it, 2,000 in a year's time, but it's very hot and dry where we live here in the garage. And so we took it we were staying at Sam's. If you've seen him on Main Street, we filmed him. He's got the big beard and in front of One Sexy Biker Chick, Sam. He invited us for 2 or 3 years. We stayed on his property. And I parked my bike in his garage, and he come knocking on the trailer one morning. He says, you looked at your back tire lately? And I'm like, no, why? What's wrong? He says, come out here. I want to show you. Well, I had a slit about this wide. I don't know if I ran over something. Had air in the tire. We took like the A1A or the back road all the way
20
down
miles an hour
to JP Cycles, because I was going to have a blowout before I got there. But it was like, I would have never looked at it. Yes, I looked at the tire. I aired it up and I kind of looked at it. I probably, before we left, I probably didn't spin the tire all the way around and look at it real good. So, but he thinks maybe I ran over something, which is possible.
Never know.
It could have been dry rotted. I don't know. But once again, if he wouldn't have told us, we may not be here today. You know,
we'd have lost that back tire.
Well,
which we have in the past.
But you don't know how it's going to handle when something happens or something like that happens. So it's for the police to take the time of their busy schedule, besides just writing you a ticket, that they're going to take a quick look around your bike. But there's a lot of times people don't realize what the laws are. It's like they were talking about the handlebars, and it couldn't be over your shoulders. Well, Sturgis had that till just a couple of years ago, that they had that same law. South Dakota did. And see, that handlebar law is not a Daytona, Ormond Beach, or Holly Hills. It is a Florida law. If you are halfway smart and you've got handlebars above your shoulders, this is what all the ones that used to go to Sturgis did, was they loosened their handlebars just a little bit, enough to where they could pull it towards them if a cop had pulled them over. Because by the time they walk up, you sit up straight and said, well, it must have been because I was slouching, is why it looked like it. And there you go. They got to prove that it's over your, but by the time they walk up to you, if you pull it back a little bit, yeah, somebody could say, yeah, if you loosen it too much, well, yeah, you're stupid if you loosen it too much and the handlebars are flipping and flopping to you.
But, and we're all saying what their temperatures were today, and
we're 101 right now.
But I just said 101 here in Arizona, saying Michigan and Montana and North Carolina and.
But look at your
dew point.
No, well, first look at your humidity, which we are 5%, and our dew point. Holy crap! I can't believe it. I won the day. Buddy out there. We were out shopping. We did Walmart and got some stuff.
We take some stuff back to Kohl's for Amazon.
Yeah, so we did all that today.
Don't buy that new wallet. You didn't like it.
I bought that wallet where the credit cards pop out and all that. But then I put everything in. It was just as fat as the wallet I got. And then every time I put it in my back pocket, the little magnet came off, opened up. So I'm like, I might as well just keep what I got. Save my $30. So I sent that back. If anybody's got one of them, let me know if you like it or not. I figured if you had your man purse, it probably would work pretty good.
Fanny pack, whatever.
Whatever you do. Not my point to judge you.
Hey, Hendra's on. How you doing, Hendra?
So that's kind of, we'll talk there a little bit about Harley and things going on. If you got any more questions, let us know. So we're getting ready for Arizona Bike Week. We head out this Friday coming up, Good Friday. We're going to be heading over to Cave Creek area. We're going to be over at the state park, staying over there. So we'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday morning, we head over to Cave Creek or over to
Westworld.
And so we'll be there the rest of the time. We'll be bouncing around. I don't know. Monday now, it seems like we got a lot of things we have to do. So I don't know if we're going to get to do my riding on Monday. It might be Tuesday now that we go out and do riding.
So we have to move and everything.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all works out and let you know. If you're there on Tuesday, let us know. Monday, I don't know what we'll do. We already got one of the bike builders wants to talk to us, and a couple other people already said they want to talk to us on Monday. That's at Westworld. So, and then she wants to take us around and show us where everybody's going to be and stuff. So we got stuff like that to have a video.
Hey, there's Jeffrey Pope.
I need to edit that video and everything for that Monday night too. So pretty much from when we get there on Friday, we should have a video Friday night. Well, not necessarily. It might be Saturday, depending on how time all works. I think we have to look and see what time. I think we can get in pretty early on Friday. Get all set up, get down to Cave Creek, see if I can get something up and going. Maybe we'll just do a quick live, and then we'll just be a day behind on everything. That might be the thing to do live next Friday. Get that out, because here it'd be really early because we're all in Arizona. We are on Pacific Standard Time because we do not change for the daylight savings time. So we stay in Pacific time right now, and then when we get to the fall again, we flip back to Mountain.
So, very confusing.
Well, just when we go other places, because we're only a few miles from Nevada, and if we go across the river, you got to think, okay, is that before or after? I kind of got it down now since we've done so much traveling. It's getting easier for me to realize that from here, everything's getting later. So like right here, it's only 4:30. So if I was looking at, if you're on the East Coast, that's 3 hours difference. So it's 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 there. So kind of gives it an easy way to kind of keep track of what time it is. I don't have too much trouble. She sometimes gets still, but I finally got it figured. So that's going to be going on there. We got a great video coming out tomorrow on the number one question that I hear at every rally, and you probably have said the same thing too, but you're gonna have to wait for the video to see what that is. We got the answer
to the question.
That's right. and a solution to the question. Let's put it that way. So pretty cool. That's something new. We got some info on, and we're going to put that out there. We got some other cool stuff getting ready for after that is going to be Panama City Beach, which is Thunder Beach Rally. That is going to be rolling in here next. Oh, no, Leesburg is. Leesburg's next. Panama City Beach, since I'm already talking about that. We are connected now with the bike rack. And if you guys have ever seen that, if you've ever been there, it used to be called
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13. So the people took it back and they took it back over now, and they've been running it the last couple of years, and they've reached out. Actually, we've seen them in Daytona and talked to them. And we're going to be doing some advertising and stuff for them. They've got, they're going to try to give you that theme to where people always say, bike rallies ain't like they used to be. Well, they've been going around to all these different rallies. They're actually going to be in Leesburg. We're going to have them on video. They're going to come on one of our lives and talk to you guys a little bit when we're down there. And, but what they do is they're trying to do a lot of different things. So they have stunt shows, they have burnout contests, they got some vendors. I think they got about 30 or 40 vendors that's going to be on their lot. They got bands playing, they got a big bar going on. They're going to have, what's the male bartender?
Oh, Sloan.
He's going to be there. They got some of the well-known bartenders that they brought in to bring the crowd in. They're going to have some bike shows, some sound shows, all kinds of cool stuff going on. So we're going to be covering, we'll be covering everything that's going on, but we'll be giving you a more emphasis of what their events are going on. But some of the things that they're going to bring back, which Daytona had, or Panama City hasn't had in a long time, is biker games. They're going to do Bike the Wiener, the slow rides, all the different stuff like that throughout the week. And so I think it starts on Wednesday, goes till Sunday. So a little bit, if looking for something like that. I like Panama City Beach. I don't know in the future what we're going to do with Leesburg and Panama City. Those are our smallest rallies that we cover, but you never know. Daytona this year ended up being a little better. I think a police video did me. And so we picked up a bigger crowd of watching the videos during Daytona. So we actually did a little better. So we're still waiting to see. Arizona Bike Week right now seems kind of quiet. A lot of the videos we're putting out aren't doing super well. Doing all right, but nothing to write home about. And so we'll have to see how it all goes. But that's not bad because that's only 250 miles from us. So we're going to pull the trailer. We're going to take both bikes. I think we're going to take the golf cart, shove all that in the back of the trailer, and take all that over there because over in Westworld, they do golf carts. So at first I was thinking about, didn't know if she was going to take her bike, what we were going to do, if take the bike, take the golf cart, whatever one we do. Well, then I seen on their website that they rent golf carts. I thought, that's probably a lot of walking. Or always going to be riding the bike over there, or here, or there, golf cart, make it nice. So I told her, I said, well, I guess we're going to put your bike up front in the front of the trailer and then my bike and the golf cart in the back. But all fit in there. Plenty of room. And just won't be a lot of room. But we don't stop anyway. We go there and
straight
leave.
There. It's only a 3-hour drive.
So mainly when we go to Cave Creek for the first couple of days, we'll probably just bring out the 2 bikes and leave the golf cart in there.
Right.
And then, because it's toward the back, we're not using the back anyway. So then usually what I always end up doing is she follows me in the truck and we usually go over to Westworld first, drop my bike off like at Speeds or someplace like that and leave my bike and right back in the truck. And then we only have to put her bike back in the trailer. And then we come over there and unload all 3 or all 2. And then we're done. So we're ready to go home. So pretty exciting. They still have one camp. Well, I don't know how many campsites they still got. They got 150-foot, which actually really wasn't a bad deal. You could do 6 from Tuesday to Monday morning in this with 50 amp and water. There's no sewer. They got a pump truck comes around for $750. And I'm like,
and it includes 2 tickets to a concert, either concert you want to go
tickets, to. Yeah, two different concerts for 2 different people. So, and I'm like, that's not bad. That's just a little over $100 a night. So it's like, that's 6 nights. And it's like, that's not bad at all. And once again, they had cheaper, but those are gone. They do have some tent spots left. They might have some dry camping still left. I kind of just went on the website. She's going to call them tomorrow and talk to her and see what else, if there's anything else.
Because you usually can't get there till Tuesday. She told us we get it on Monday. So we just need to know.
I think we're setting up as vendors.
So we need to know like who we need to talk to. Do they have our name? What do we need to do? What time can we get there? All that stuff. And the golf cart, if we can drive our golf cart around.
And which I'm thinking we do, but sometimes they want to see your insurance because we have license plates on ours. Ours are street legal. the cart that we have. But he's looking for a golf cart. We were looking to sell it. And just have to pay off some of these bills. And so so it's street legal. So it's got plates on it. I got registration, got insurance and all that. But if you need any of that, I need to know it ahead of time. The stuff was in the glove box, which I didn't even open the glove box to see.
You threw all that out when you were looking for something one day.
Well, then it's out of there. So if I need to bring that along, I need to print it out. We like to leave everything in the cart because people do that all the time. Last night on OP Live,
I'm staying the whole time.
Guy said it was on his phone and I had no internet. Well, that's what she said. The guy only had a flip phone. She goes, people have internet on the flip phone? I said, well, can you take pictures? And I'm like, well, flip phones have changed from what they had when they first came out. That they're a little more high-techy now, but still nothing like a regular phone. But I don't know.
I mean, it was like a BlueBerry. It didn't really have like it didn't have like a typewriter. You had to type 1 for A. If you wanted B, you had to hit 1 twice. If you wanted C, you had to hit 1 3 times. And it was like a BlackBerry. Is that what they used to have?
No,
I don't know. But anyway, it was a pain.
So I don't know if we didn't see the guy's phone. We just seen he had a flip phone. We couldn't tell what the numbers look like or whatever.
That's why I didn't know if you could pull up pictures.
So it ended up being that he told his girlfriend, wife, or whoever she was in the mobile home to send him the picture of their insurance so he could show it to the cop. I don't know why cops do that because most police departments, when they pull your driver's license up, your registration on your car, it shows everything. It shows you have insurance. It shows all this stuff. It's all technical. So I don't know necessarily why they ask for all that. If I'm giving you my ID and you're able to punch me up and see that all the crap that I own.
And my plates are on this car that belonged to me. I could see if you weren't driving your own car. Yeah. That might be an issue.
But there was one they pulled over last night that the guy didn't have no plates at all on the car.
He did. It was in the back window. Yeah. I wonder who would do something like that.
Well, then we had to use car lot. Didn't do it legally.
I got pulled over when guns pulled out on me. But I was a no good person.
Because you're driving that big old Cadillac.
With 2 baby seats in the back seat. Is the Pating phone done? Karen said she sent me a text that I might want to talk about it. Is it still in there?
Yes.
And this light's not on, is that?
I did mine.
I'll turn this light on.
She got to go get the phone and look at it. Your friend in town is who was calling you. So there you go. There's some of the stuff that we got going on. And then we've also got, maybe not. Move it slowly. See nothing. So what we got coming up next is Arizona Bike Week starts this Friday. So then when we get back from that first week of April, about 2 weeks later, we head to Leesburg Bike Fest. We'll be down there from Tuesday till Sunday. That Sunday, we will head over to Panama City Beach. We will be down there somewhere on Beach Boulevard. We're supposed to be staying. Don't know where yet, but they've got us all hooked up set up for that. So we'll be down there. So we'll be there till Sunday or Monday. We pull out of there and we go over to Orlando. And from there, we fly to Myrtle Beach. And so in Myrtle Beach, we'll be we stay at Steven's house for that time. And then after that, we fly back home. And then we get ready for Sturgis. So Sturgis, we're looking sometime between the 1st and the 10th. We should show up in Sturgis on June 10th. 1st through the 10th, somewhere in that time. So that's our schedule right now.
I didn't get anything from you, Karen. She said, I sent you a text. Did you get it? You might want to talk about it, but nope, I didn't get anything.
Try again. Also, I don't know if this really makes a difference or not, but we're sending prayers out to the mayor of Sturgis. He resigned about 2 weeks ago. He's got cancer. His health's not doing real well. So he decided that he wanted to resign from the city of Sturgis. So he stepped down about 2 weeks ago. This last Monday or Tuesday, they had the vote that they decided they're going to have another election in Sturgis to run for mayor. And they always want to nominate me, but we're not there enough for me to run for office. There's going to be an election on June 2nd in Sturgis for the new mayor, whoever that may be. Right now, I don't know if there's any candidates that are on the list or not. I've seen some names flying around, but I think that the city had this meeting this week and they kind of talked about it a little bit. And that doesn't really affect any of you. A lot of people always want to talk about all the crazy stuff going on in Sturgis and stuff like this. All these towns have crazy stuff going on. We're only there a week. So you really don't know what's going on the rest of the time.
May 4th, Jeffrey. Oh.
And so there's just a lot of different things that we get involved with that. Some of the cities we do, Sturgis, we try to get more involved with probably than any other city. Just for the fact that I've always thought that if we could get enough content out of Sturgis, we could just cover Sturgis year round, and that's all we would do. Because there's so much stuff. They start planning Black Hills Harley, the Full Throttle Saloon, the Buffalo Chip. They all start in the city. They start planning about a month after the rally.
Almost a day after.
They're already thinking they used to get a week off and to catch their breath. And then they start figuring out, hey, what are we going to do next year? How are we going to make this better? Well, we had reached out to the last mayor because there was a lot of issues going on and said, we'd be happy to give you some advice. You can take it, you can leave it. We can just tell you what we see at other rallies. One of the things is like Arizona Bike Week, for instance. Last year, the attendance coming inside was really down compared to what it had been. And so the lady that puts it on, she kind of asked us, well, what do you think the problem is? I said, well, the problem is with West Coast rallies, you want to charge us to come in and spend money. So if I'm going to have to pay $25 a piece, $50 for me to walk in, and I got to go to the Ferry and Exchange or All About Customs or whatever, and I'm going to dump another $1,500, I'm already out $50 for coming in the door. I said, well, two ways you could do this. One is you could give everybody a card that if you spend $50 and get it stamped by with the vendors, that you get your $50 back on the way out. Problem with that is you're going to have to hire people. You're going to have money. You're going to have to do credit returns or whatever it is. Get a lot of trouble. Other option is quit charging for people to get in. So that's what they decided. So if you go to Westworld this year, until 5 p.m., it's going to be free. You'll be able to see the dirt bike racing, the stunt shows, all the crazy stuff going on during the day will be free. The reason they do this more out in the West than they do in the East Coast is because there's a very large crowd that comes in that are not bikers. They're pushing strollers or bringing their kids. It's the weekend. Let's bring the kids to the bike rally. And so that's why they did it, because these people really aren't going to spend any money. The odds are. But that's why a lot of the vendors, especially out here on the West Coast, they started bringing in people selling recliners and bracelets and jewelry and crap that has nothing to do with motorcycle people. But that got those flea market people to come in and buy. So that's what I tell Laughlin, Nevada. That's one of the reasons it died. It had nothing to do with the shooting. It got to where they really piss poured the rally, and it got to be there really wasn't hardly any vendors selling stuff you need. There was a dozen. They were selling mattresses, not for an RV, for your house. Yeah, I'm going to strap that on the back of my bike and drag it back to California. I always love it when I walk by one of those booths. They're selling siding. We had it too in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue over in Rogers. They had over at the convention center, they had a guy doing siding. I said, yeah, I'm looking for some siding. So good. What are you looking for? I said, oh, something's going to last me a lifetime. We got this great stuff. He's like, oh, yeah. He says, we could get out there next week. I said, you can? He says, yeah, where do you live? I said, Arizona. Oh, we don't go that far. What are you advertising here for? Because I would say probably half the people that are walking through here are not from your neighborhood. But once again, they're looking for the flea market crowd. And that's what ruins rallies. Just like having these big concerts and stuff. It's another one. It's going to be a downfall of the motorcycle industry, because what ends up happening is it brings in these cars. People come in cars. Bad thing with people with cars is they don't buy anything. Well, they buy those stupid T-shirts for $1 or whatever the hell they're selling that trash for. And they buy some junk like that or something, a magnet or whatever kind of crap they want to buy. But they're not really helping the vendors out. So in turn, eventually the vendors are going to disappear. You're going to start seeing the big trucks go away. You're going to see the little vendors start going away because they're going to find out it ain't worth the money. I got to spend $10,000 to get a license to be here. Then I got to spend another $20,000 for the spot that I'm sitting on. Then I got to pay for all my guys to get out here. I got to send my truck from Florida all the way to here, which was about $1 a mile. Now it's probably getting close to half a mile. So that's both ways. And then all that. So you got a big expense before they even open their front door. So they've got to turn a really good, because you got to remember, my guy might say, I made $30,000. Yeah, but what was your parts? You make it on your labor, but you got to deduct the money you pay the people. Some of the vendors we have actually pay their mechanics year round. So
So they know when in between rallies that they're going to have somebody come back to be with them.
Because that way they get a check your way.
Hey, Red King.
So that's one of the things that I worry about. We see that Daytona this year, a lot more cars than we see motorcycles. No matter what they said, which is really crazy because Daytona hasn't announced the attendance. I'm going to say we're looking at 20 or 30,000 motorcycle people paying Daytona this year. That's it. There was no 100, there was no 300, there was no 500. There never is that many people. If you just Google how many motel rooms are in the Daytona area, okay? First of all, we're not going to fill every hotel up because there's also tourists there. You look at Main Street there in Daytona, that's the biggest problem we have with this industry, is because I would say 50% of the people that are on Main Street do not own motorcycles. Now you got a bunch of these YouTubers that are shooting videos that they don't own motorcycles and they're shooting videos. So I think that's what's ruining, which we talked about this before. Maybe I didn't talk on a video or short, and that there's so many YouTubers now showing the cops harassing people, stuff like that. Nobody gets harassed by the cops unless you ask for that. And I don't care who you are, because we've been going to these rallies for 7 years, and we've been going to rallies for over 25 years, motorcycle events. We've never been pulled over on our bike. But I'm not doing wheelies. I'm not doing burnouts. I'm not revving my bike up when I'm on Main Street. I do rev my bike up. There's times if a car's coming over my lane, I'm going to wrap it out a little bit and let them know. If I'm going through a tunnel, I'm going to rev it up a little bit and have some fun with it. But I don't have my stereo cranked up to where they can hear it 3 blocks away with F-bombs every other word. And these people think that that's okay. Well, I have a right. No, you don't. You don't have a right to infringe on other people's enjoyment that they're having. People got, especially Daytona, you got all these little kids running around the tourist area, and you're dropping the F-bomb and the H-bomb and everything else that you can think of on your music. And you think, which I know probably a lot of you don't, these people probably don't watch our channel. But I mean, we talk about this all the time, that the only people, we're all standing there and we all think the same thing. How stupid are you revving up your bike? What are you trying to put? Me, I pray to God every time that I want a piston to fly out of motor. I want to catch it on film. If I don't, you're not going to see me filming you revving your bike up. What's it proven? I can rev my bike up too. She can rev her little Sportster up too and make it loud. So what's it proving? That was
my first Sportster.
Yeah. Not as, what is it proving? Yes, you got a great stereo. Go to the sound competitions. I'll bet half those guys that are riding up and down Daytona and got the stereo cranked up never have been to a sound competition because they would lose. And so that's part of the problem. It's like us. When I pull up to a light, I always turn my music down because, one, I don't want, if she wants to talk to me, I want to hear her. We're not using headsets. We haven't used headsets for probably 20 years.
Because she didn't like to hear me sing.
And so we quit that a long time ago. She can talk to me on the bike if we're riding, and we got hand signals if she's got to stop and use the bathroom or.
This means you better pull over soon.
So we've got, so we don't have to chat on the bike while we're riding, which is really crazy because you see all these guys that want to chat with their wife or whoever it is on their bike and stuff. And it's like, you're riding in the car with her. Do you chat with her like that too? I'll say probably not. But it's just funny how it's just different when it's a rally. And so, it is what it is. But one of the things that I was very impressed with this year was down there at Black Bike Week, which is, what's the name of that college?
Bethune. Mary L. Bethune.
And that came up, somebody wrote me and told me a little story. I didn't look it up. But back in the 70s, I guess they didn't allow people of African descent, black, brown, weren't allowed in Daytona on Main Street. So they decided over at the college there that they would start having their own little bike show, bike week. And they normally only did the last weekend. I think it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I thought it was just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but somebody said it's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So a couple of years ago, probably 5 years ago, we had kind of drove through there and seen that. Well, the first time we rode through, there was nothing there because first weekend. And the second weekend, we kind of rode through. It was kind of like in the afternoon. And there was some like wooden stages that was built, and there was a couple of vendor trucks there. There was nobody there. And I'm like, this looks dead. We're not coming back. Well, then
and it was like early afternoon, but this time early afternoon, it was packed.
A lot of people. So we went over there Friday, first rode through and kind of checked it out. And there was a pretty good crowd, a lot of stuff going on. So we thought, we'll come back. Plus, we know
Detroit Randy.
Yeah, Detroit Randy. You should look him up. A great guy. We met him years ago at the 120th in, we might have met him before that. And I think he already knew
was
us.
at the Sons of Speed the first time we saw him. He races.
Yeah. So we met him probably the 6th year we did this, because I think the 2nd year we were doing this, we did Sons of Speed. So we met him there. Great guy. He always told us about, he had a bike show. It's called the Damn Show or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Darn Damn Show. I don't know. But so we're like, let's put that on the list and let's try to get over there on Saturday. See if we can at least get a little bit of that, at least pay privilege to him. He's asked us a dozen times. We've never been able to make it. Let's go over there and make an effort to go there. So we get over there. We finally find a place to park. Lots of people. We were probably one of 12 white people that were in the neighborhood that day. And so when I first walked, we probably walked about a block away from where the stage area was, which Harley Davidson sponsored and put a big giant stage up there. They had a stage as big as what like the Broken Spoke had. Big giant setup that they had set up. And they all across the street, which we didn't get over there to film that because we were running short. This was the last Saturday. They had
it's the Detroit Antique Motorcycle Show, the Damn Show.
Oh.
Detroit Antique Motorcycle Show.
And so across the street, they had another Harley display that had some demo bikes. I think they had a trike that they had like last year's trike and this year's trike, and they had it taken apart to where you could see it. I wish I would have got over there, but I glanced and seen it, but I never got back there. So when we parked, we walked up because I thought, I'm not going to film anything yet in case people freak out on us. So we get up there, we go to the bike show, we film some bikes. We see Jesse from Jackals there. We talked to him. The music was so loud on the stage. And they did some awards. They all had a ring, which I really didn't understand what the ring was.
We got there right when they were doing the ring thing. So I don't know what the significance of the ring was, but there was probably 8 guys and a couple women that had this ring.
So it's something special about it, something to do with Harley Davidson. And I don't know what it is. So we knew a couple people from Harley there. Some of the marketing people were there. So we chatted with several people. We missed out on the CEO was there. He had just been there earlier in the afternoon, and then he left to get over and watch the Daytona 200. So we missed out on seeing him again.
We saw Jesse was there from Jackal.
Yeah. So it was a pretty good show. So on the way back, I decide, I'm going to film. I'm going to film the crowd. I'm going to film some bikes riding by. Well, the first thing that I noticed more than anything was the bikes that were riding up and down Main Street. Now, it wasn't real busy. You'd see 4 or 5 bikes go by, and then maybe a little bit of time, maybe couple minutes, and some more bikes would come by. Nobody was revving their bikes. Music wasn't loud. A few bikes you could hear the song that they were playing, but you couldn't.
It wasn't like
that I heard them after they got down on the A1A. So I was like, wow, nobody's revving the bikes up.
Nobody's doing wheelies.
Yeah, nobody's doing burnouts.
Some real nice.
But there was people from probably 0 months old to I bet somebody was there 100 years old. People in chairs. It was mostly
just enjoying the day, watching the bikes and the people.
When we filmed, I actually had more people come up to me and thank me for being there. They said, one person wrote me and said, you were the first white YouTuber ever been here. Now, too tall.
Walking Tall?
The black guy that has a channel called Too Tall. I don't know. I can't think what his channel is. He does something there on Fridays, I think. And he does like a 2-hour broadcast from there. I didn't know. And not a big follower. We met him a couple years ago. I didn't even know about his channel. There's millions of channels, so we don't know everybody. People always come up and say, so-and-so, right? And I'm like, no, we don't. We're making videos. I don't have time to sit around and watch videos all day long. So a lot of them, I don't have time. There's really not any one YouTuber that I watch all their videos because it just isn't time.
Not enough hours in the day.
And we got a lot of friends that are YouTubers. Lots of them. We got a lot of them.
Even Amsoil Adam. I mean, every once in a while it'll click up that he's got a video out, but I think, okay, I'll watch that later.
And we come through it. I was watching, he was giving away a bike. He raffled it off or something.
Oh, did he get it raffled off?
Yeah, he did another one. He got another one.
Oh.
And so, but I think it's the same thing with him. He's not spending a lot of time watching us because he's got his 2 channels. He's trying to get going and stuff. So there's a lot going on that you don't have a lot of time to watch other people's videos. So when we do have a YouTuber watch us, because every once in a while somebody will comment to me and say, oh yeah, man, I seen your police video. It was really good. A lot of them won't say anything, which is weird. Because I usually, if I come on somebody's channel, I'll write. Like the other day, Riding the Ozarks was doing a live. And I just kind of went on there and said hi, letting you know we were in, we're stopped by to say hi. I'm not watching your whole video, but I'm just stopping in and saying hi on your live. And watched a little bit, and a couple other people said hi to me, and that was moved on. But we don't have time. Not saying there's anything wrong with anybody's channel. It's just doing this. Plus, now we've got the shop going on. Pretty much every day I've been over there. Sometime in the morning I get there. I can hang around till 1 or 2 o'clock. It's probably about the latest I stay. And I've been working on the trailer. Today I went over there just for a few minutes. I changed oil in the truck, checked brakes on it yesterday. But I hadn't started the truck up because I had the doors closed. I've been trying to keep it a little cooler in there instead of 101 degrees outside. So I didn't want to open the garage. So I went up there early this morning, fired it up, filled up because it holds 13 quarts. Filled it up the rest of the way. I checked the brakes on it. They were still good. I also I haven't changed the oil on the generator. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. And so I'm going to change the oil on the generator and the oil filter and air filter. Freaking too much. So this morning I decided I want to go over there and just fire it up. I haven't ran that thing probably since purchase. So it's like you're supposed to start your generator every month. So plus I hadn't turned the air conditioners on. So I went over there, generator, took a few seconds for it. I said, okay, we got 3/4 of a day. I was going to have to get some gas. We need to try to run most of that out to the
that you're going to put some in the motorhome
someday. So got the air conditioners going, all good. Because you want to if you have a generator, you want to put a load on it. So if you got a generator and you're just starting it up and it's not doing anything, plug your phone into it or drill or something. You're not putting a load on. You got to put something. If it's a decent sized generator, you need to put something on it like a air conditioner or something that's a power saw, a table saw, or something that's got a little bit of a draw to make the generator work a little bit harder. So you do that. So did all that, and that's all working good. So that I feel a little better about that. I've got to put probably supposed to be in the next couple of days. I think it's going to get a little cooler. I was thinking about dragging it outside, and because I think I drained the water out of it. I don't know if I did or not. But before putting new water in, make sure the old water's out. And I want to check the toilet, make sure it's flushing, make sure all the faucets work, hook the hose up to it, and make sure it's everything. There's no leaks or anything going on. So that way,
I told you up on the top it was wet.
I know, but it's not gonna. I don't know where it's going. It's probably coming out of that light marker line. So, but we're probably not gonna be in rain until we get to purchase, probably. But then between now and then, I'll back up there, figure out what seal that light up. It's an aluminum trailer, so it doesn't matter. I did get some clothes wet. So dried it all out. Don't smell. You don't get mold in aluminum. So that's all set. So hopefully we'll have the trailer all done. I haven't done a whole lot of motorcycle stuff. One of my side bags is blocking off.
You had that problem before?
Well, I had the wire that broke. Well, that broke again, and I put it together, got it working today. And even with the key, it sometimes doesn't. It's like when you jiggle the handle, it's loosening it up. So I'm going to have to talk to somebody. And if you had any trouble with your side bags, the key not locking it locks, but then when you jiggle the handle, it unlocks. So I got to figure out what's wrong with that. And the last time I finally got it to lock after playing with it about a dozen times. And so that's on my bike. And then I got to put the battery back in her bike, fire it up, make sure it's all running, all the oils.
Did you hook up my phone charger?
It just has to have the input on it.
Oh, you just got to plug it in.
Yeah,
You didn't unhook it from the battery.
Got a new end on it.
Hi, Janice. She says she's got to run.
What? So there's some stuff going on there. You have any exciting questions?
Not really. Somebody said something, but I don't remember. Somebody's in Cape Cod. This week is supposed to be cooler in Vegas. It will be in the upper 80s Monday and then lower 80s. 70s the rest of the week.
When we first get there, it's going to be excellent. It's going to be in the 80s. So that should be pretty good. Let me pull. Okay, so right now it says it's 100 degrees out there.
So we dropped a degree.
So yeah, tomorrow's supposed to be 97. Tuesday is 87. So probably Tuesday be cloudy.
That'd probably be a good day.
Yeah, maybe Tuesday.
Because usually when it's cloudy, it's a lot cooler.
And so let's take a look at. So first, we're going to be at Cave Creek. Arizona.
Is that for basketball? Because I don't know. I don't really watch basketball.
So Cave Creek right now is 92 degrees. Their dew point's 37, which ours has come up to 27. But the humidity is 15%, which ours is still 7%. A little bit more warmer, but it still says 92, feels like 90. That's always a good sign. So if we look at the weather here, let's do a long extended forecast. So Friday when we get there is going to be 85 degrees. Saturday is going to be 88. Sunday is going to be 89. Monday is going to be 89. Tuesday is going to be 90. No rain, 0. No chance of rain.
Oh, we're in Arizona. It's kind of dry here.
So looks like Arizona Bike Week might be the best bike week they've ever had. Because you never know about this time of the year. It can be cold, it can be really hot. We've had 100-degree temperature. And even there's been some time over in Phoenix has been hotter than we have because the way the jet stream's been coming up. So it's going to cool down pretty nice because it's great to be about 80 degrees riding on your motorcycle. Not have to wear a coat, but if you want. But not like 100 degrees where every time you stop at a stoplight, you're like, I'm dying. But Arizona now has changed the law that you now can split lanes
at
stop signs and stop lights.
That's it.
No passing on drive. When the cars are moving, you cannot pass them.
Only if they're stopped.
Yes. So something new that came out. Somebody told me, and I thought, that's not true. And then I looked
because we did notice, so it was like, oh, that guy's going to get in trouble because he zipped past us at a stoplight, and I'm like, but I guess you can now. It's legal.
Yep. So something to think about. I get back into splitting lanes. Not her little bike because on a big bike, a little tougher. Used to split all the way to LA. 50 miles. Split
used to like to take my bike. You taking your bike?
Yeah, because those sports are I just zip between all those cars.
They used to say it. Gits and
Chits and gits. I'm supposed to say that. Oops and gits.
There you go.
And so yeah, it's so
traveling tall.
That's it. Traveling tall. I knew it was something tall. And a really nice guy. We met him once and talked to him. He came up to us in Daytona a couple years ago and chatted with us a while.
And then he's like, "Oh, do you know who I am?" And we're like,
"I'm traveling tall." Hey, and what's that mean? I got a YouTube channel. Oh, okay. I'll check you out. I'm not sure if he knew who we were either.
He just saw us filming, I think, because that's when we were.
We were sitting at one of the tables. They used to have a table.
That's, I think, right after we met the Badgers. I think was real soon after that. It was the very first Daytona Bike Week we ever went to.
So I don't know when. We were able to do a live because at first you couldn't do lives without using a computer. So we had to have the phone there, sitting out on that table. So I don't know. Oh no, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we met him. He was a really nice guy. And I see him every now and then, but he's usually so far away. And I don't mind YouTubers coming up and talking to us. Some of them are, some of them we don't always get a chance. Like we know Prime Cut Pro and Awesome Documentary, and we missed out on
we saw
Kawamoto. And
we saw Weems, and he was like, he grabbed me and hugged me, and I'm like, hey. And it took me a second, like, okay, was this? But no, I knew who it was
and he's pretty good. And riding the Ozarks, he always comes and talks to us if he sees us do it. Another great guy. So there's a lot of really good. The Badgers, they always have time to talk. Monkey, we didn't get to see him this time. He's usually pretty sociable too when we see him. But this year, I guess he was only there till Wednesday, so he didn't stay very long.
Yeah, because we were at Cackleberry a couple of times, and we kind of drove around where we thought he was parked last year,
but we didn't
never
see his
agency
trailer, so I don't know. But we didn't get a chance to run into him, and I think we spent too much time talking to you guys. We went out to lunch with a few subscribers and chatted with some different people, and we also had to do some commercials and stuff for a couple of the vendors to get that taken care of too. That always happens. But this year it just seemed like it. Videos did really good. I'm not complaining, but it just seemed like I never got in a groove, and I was blaming it on Biketoberfest, but I don't think that's what it was. I just think maybe that's what she said. Because one time we went out to eat with somebody, a subscriber that we've really helped. And we spent a couple hours talking to them. And then we went to other places. Well, Leslie Beaver, we only talked to her on Sunday. That really was.
Both Sundays.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't.
No, we didn't go any other time.
It wasn't like we're going to do something else in those. So we talked to her. And
hey, from the UK. Something music. Tony, I don't know.
Tony 8FL music.
There you go.
Maybe it's hi-fi music.
Oh, it could be hi-fi music from the UK. There
you go.
Welcome to our channel.
Thank you for watching. And we thank everybody for watching. Without you, we wouldn't.
That's right.
And we try to give you out
cold at the moment there.
All
I guess
the
over in the
information.
UK.
One of the people tried to get us to maybe start doing a newsletter. I just don't. First thought maybe it was a good idea. they were going to put on their social media and put it on. They're going to be doing some marketing for one of the big campgrounds and stuff. And I thought maybe, but it's like, I don't know if I have that much time to sit down and write up something because he said, well, just do what what you're going to film. Well, problem is we don't know what we're going to film. And people like Professional Monkey, he puts a schedule out and says, "Hey, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be over at the Fair and Exchange. I'm going to be here, here." I can't do that because we're doing, which is what Monkey tells you. If you watch him, he'll tell you if you really want to know what's going on, contact us because he does his party stuff, he does his fun stuff, and he also does a few things for the people that are sponsoring him. And other than that, it's just a rally. Well, with us, it's the job. We work the whole time we're there, so we don't always know how things are going to go because sometimes it ends up being some days there's too much stuff going on. Thursday was like that. We always like to do Willie's Chopper Time show, but we ended up having to go over to
we had
Boss
to leave
Hoss.
halfway through. Yeah.
Go to Boss Hoss, and then we came back. And because we had to cover something over there that I think they had a ride coming. I got some videos to put out for them yet. And but
I was thinking, did you ever do the demo rides we did?
yeah. And
I don't see a Bumblebee bike, Neil. I don't know.
Bumblebee bike where?
He said, "What did you think of that Bumblebee bike I sent you?" I don't. So I don't know. I looked in Messenger. I looked in my note and my text. I don't see it. How you doing? Domain 44444. This is too far away. I can't really see. Hi. Mike says, Neil, Saturday we're supposed to get 6 to 7 inches of snow. That's just crazy. Too late in the year for that. That's up in Minnesota.
Well, we've had that when we used to live in Illinois. It wasn't uncommon to snow on each
Neil
side.
said he already put a shovel away.
I wouldn't do that in Alaska. But yeah, so it'd be another exciting year. We're still not sure about Ocean City. We haven't figured out what we're going to do in Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue yet. Usually we come out and visit our daughter. She might be moving, and so we don't know how we're going to do it yet. If we're going to drag the trailer from here all the way to Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue, maybe we could do Lake of the Ozarks before that. I don't know. We really want to do Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue. We just haven't got everything all finalized and said there. There's a lot of you going to be there, but we're going to do everything humanly possible. We just haven't figured out how we're going to get there. Because the problem there is you have to fly into
either Fayetteville or Tulsa.
Fayetteville is like taking like 10 planes to get there. And
well, we could fly into Wichita and then do like we did before, rent a car and then drive. Wichita is probably closer than the other two. I don't know.
So I don't know. We're still negotiating on that. And they're getting ready to do their spring fling. That's actually the same time that Panama City's doing theirs.
Leesburg. Same weekend as Leesburg.
Okay. And so they're planning on doing that. So I haven't recontacted them to get everything ironed out for this year.
Yeah, Leesburg and Spring Fling are April 23rd through the 26th. They're both.
So next year we might go the other route and do the spring fling for them. We don't know yet. Bad thing there is a lot of times it's really cold. It's been in the 40s there in the Ozarks during this year. It might be a little better, but I mean, you never know. When you're that far up, it's not like out here. So we're out here in Arizona, California. You can do a bike rally in March and April, and you could be pretty well set on it that you're going to have good chance you're going to have pretty good weather. Because here the rain, like I said, we haven't had any rain for probably a month. And we're getting close for our dry spell. We mainly get our rain during the winter when it usually rains the most here. We do get some flash storms coming through during the summer, but they're here 5 or 10, 15 minutes and they're gone. Might get a lot of rain during it. I get 2 or 3 inches. I'm looking for it.
He said he resent it.
I sent him a bunch of stuff today telling him we had a live. So I don't know what email or what.
Well, I got my own personal one, and then I got the other one, and I looked on both. I don't see them on either one.
I mean,
anyway, so I'll do Karen's real quick since we got a minute here. Not talking. I got to find it again. Anyway, if you like Wade Jennings and you're going to Arizona Bike Week, there's somebody that bought tickets. It's not going to be at Cave Creek or Westworld. It's going to be at another bar. But if you're interested, send us an email and I will give you the information that you can contact the person. I think they're VIP tickets. They're supposed to be really good tickets. So if you're a Way Jennings fan, you want to go, we got some tickets that you might be able to get. That's what Karen sent me. So that's what I'm letting you know about.
Yeah, I didn't show nothing Neil sent either.
Yeah, so I don't know, Neil. We're not getting whatever you're sending.
They didn't give me a notification. It says Neil sent you something. But I sent a bunch of stuff this morning because when I pulled it up, I think I pulled up your old Facebook page too. And I sent things to both of them because I couldn't, I know we just talked the other day. I couldn't find where I just talked to you. I don't know if we defriended you. I don't know what happened. I don't see you. It's possible.
Tony Hoffman. What's cold in the UK around 2 a.m.? Wow. Oh, Tony Hi-Fi. What is cold in the UK? So he just said it was cold over there. I don't know. I don't know what part of the UK, because I think UK is a little bit longer too, isn't it? I don't know.
Well, they're more north.
Just got your phone number for Speeds. I sent it to you on that. I looked there. I didn't see it. So thanks for the heads up.
Send him a text.
I did.
Did you get her text?
Yes, that's what he just said. Oh, yep. That's kind of crazy looking.
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Motorcycle. Doesn't say where it's at. I don't know.
Can't show you because it's on the phone. Just looks like a real bee. I don't know if anybody would drive that or not. Or for
like
show.
Your fish bike you wanted to buy?
For stupid money. Figured they have to give that damn thing away. So I'll give them $50 for it. $500.
You're welcome,
just
Karen.
To take it home and
here on the Cape Cod, Massachusetts is where they're at. That he was cooler up there too. Yeah, he thought it was funny. I guess he's laughing. Oops, I saw Jeff Pope was on, but I didn't see Stephen. I thought Stephen would be on tonight.
Sunday. We go to Saturday night.
Watch on Sunday morning online.
So that's kind of a rundown of some of the exciting things we're going to be doing this year, which is a lot of the same things from last year. But going back to writing a newsletter or something like that, they kind of said, write what you're planning on doing at the rally. Well, I don't know what we're going to do at the rally. Because one, when we get to a rally, there's always something going on that we didn't know about. Always happens.
Somebody always tells us, hey, did you hear this? Or he'll look it up. He'll look on Facebook and see something. He's like, I didn't know this was going on. Well, just like that ride they do every year, Panama City. We've covered that a couple of times, but it's for a fallen police officer. And we haven't done it the last 2 years, but I think the first 2 years we did do it. So
and it was another subscriber had told us about it, because that's what's cool about our channel. Probably, I don't know if everybody has this or not, but we just have some really great subscribers that live in the towns that we do rallies at. And they're always giving me great places to eat, places to see, things that's going on. And that's how we keep informed. Just like with Sturgis, I've got a handful of people in Sturgis that will say, here's what's going on. They're having a meeting tonight. You might want to check in on this. And so we do. And so the idea is just so I know what's going on. We like to deal with, just like that, we like to deal with the mayor. I like to deal with the chief of police. I like to deal with the sheriff. I like to deal with business owners. I like to deal with the people that are in charge of whatever they're doing. And the reason I want that is because I want to make sure that what we're doing, I have no issues with. It's like Leslie at the Beaver Bar. We had one time, which I won't say which bar it was at, and it's a couple years ago. We were filming people, and one of the girls that was working the beer tub or something says, you can't film. I said, yes, we can. Well, we're working with Leslie. He goes, who's Leslie? And I'm like, the lady that signs your check. You can film. But we do that because we want to make sure, because there's a lot of these girls.
Well, we did that at Teddy's, and I asked Teddy, I said, well, there's a girl that wouldn't go on camera. And he's like, I don't tell them they can or can't. It's their prerogative. Even though I'm paying them to work here and bartend, if they don't want to go on camera, I can't make them.
But he's probably the only exception to the rule. Every place else we go, if it's the Buffalo Chip, it's the Full Throttle Saloon, if it's the Iron Horse, if it's the Knuckle Saloon, wherever it is, we always have that, because what we're doing is we're not like all these other guys. A lot of these other guys are trying to get the girls to talk and all that kind of stuff. All we want them to say is, hey, my name is Karen. Come see me at Loud American or wherever I'm at and have a drink with me. And we just figure, hey, let everybody see a pretty girl. They get to put a little plug out for the bar. They want to say their Instagram account. We're okay with that. But I'm not making a video on just a bunch of girls at the rally, which there's people that do that. And that's fine. That's their genre. And I'm okay with that. Nothing good, nothing bad. Just like all these guys stand on Main Street. You don't see us filming a lot of Main Street this year. One thing we did is we filmed a lot of riding on Main Street. We filmed more in Daytona this year of us riding our bike than any other time. Hint that there's a lot of, which is one of the guys I looked up the other day. He's got a bike, but it's an adventure bike. And it's like, but he stands on Main Street the whole time he's there. He's filming nothing but Main Street. And it's like, what are you doing? And that's great. If he, well, I always look at it as probably 90% of the people watching those videos, once again, don't own motorcycles either. Just like the people standing on Main Street don't own motorcycles. There's some that do, but a lot of the crowd doesn't. So you can tell they walk, they're not dressed, or they got little kids coming along with them. So they're not. So it's kind of like when you go to a motorcycle rally, or if you go anywhere, you go into a bar, and let's say it's your neighborhood bar that you always go into down the street from you. If some guy stops on the side of the road and walks into the bar, everybody looks at him and they know he's an out-of-towner. We can do the same thing when we go to a motorcycle rally. Pretty easy for us to pick out the people that really aren't there for the rally. I would say we're probably right about 80% of the time. And because sometimes I do that. I've gone up to people and said, what brings you to Daytona? Oh, it's family outing. Oh, okay. Got a motorcycle? No. Okay, thanks. I don't put them on camera. I'm just curious. We actually did today when she went to the beauty shop to get some makeup and stuff. The girl had blue hair. And so I said, I've always wanted to ask this. What do you think about these older women, 65 and older, or 55, they color their hair blue and pink and green and all that? Oh, it's so cool. I think she just said it. She's a young girl.
They're just having fun.
And I'm just like, I don't know. It's like our daughter told us when she turned 30 years old, you weren't supposed to wear jeans anymore.
No, when I turned 50. This was after I was already 50 for a while. I was probably 55, 56. And my oldest daughter says, Mom, after you turn 50, you're not supposed to wear jeans anymore. And I said, and what am I supposed to wear? And she's like, well, Grandma Hoffman and Grandma used to wear those stretch pants with the elastic in the waist, and they were polyester. I'm like, I am not wearing those. I'm like, what are you going to wear after you turn 50? But they wear yoga pants now, which is kind of like the stretch pants my mom and his mom used to wear. I'm not wearing those. I'll wear jeans until.
It's like when we walk by some of these old lady shops, I always go, there you go. Go in there and check it out.
I'm not wearing.
Her friend Sue dresses a little bit like that, except some of them older lady clothes.
I know.
And she doesn't.
Not giving up my jeans. I'm sorry. I wore jeans. Well, I was never allowed to wear jeans until I was in high school.
She went to camp.
And my dad said only men wear pants that zip up the front. So I could wear pants, but they had to zip on the side or in the back. So when I started high school, I complained and begged and finally got to buy my first pair of jeans at the 579 store, if anybody remembers those. And went up there and got my first pair of jeans. I was so excited. Yeah, but I was like 14. And I have worn jeans ever since. I don't really wear a lot of dresses, skirts, or nothing like that. Jeans is my cup of tea, I guess. I don't know.
And so that's, and that's why I said it's everybody's their thing. But I always wonder, because you always see that. Well, when we moved to California, did you ever move to California?
Oh, Steven's on. 2002.
Okay, so when we moved to California, I had never realized in California that no
anything
matter
goes.
Yes, there were still guys wearing spiked hair. There was people with bell bottoms on, which now that you see a lot of that, but back then you didn't see that. But it was stuff that we grew up with, that we went through, that people wearing platform shoes and stuff. And it's like, holy crap, somebody has got an afro, a white guy got an afro, it looks like he's discoing or something. Like, wow, nothing really went out of style there. Say something?
Dead dog, paying tribute to Charlie.
Oh, did you see his picture?
I guess. That's what he said.
So there's a bar in Myrtle Beach, Stephen's word, Murder Beach, that they have a bar. It's called
Dead Dog.
Dead Dog
It's just called Dead Dogs. And I thought for the longest time, I thought, what a weird name for a bar. And then they finally said, well, you can take a picture of your dead dog in there and they hang it on the wall. And I thought, that's morbid. I said, who would do that? Charlie's up there. But
it's a dedication to your dog. So it's like a living memorial. You can put, and people can see it all the time, and they don't take them down or nothing. And we actually got in one of the new areas. It's actually, if you go into the bathroom, if you look up to the right before you go in, and he's up there.
Probably the fourth one up, right over the bathroom.
So you look for Charlie, he's there.
Yeah. So that's where Stephen is. That's what he said. Thank you, Stephen.
And so, but yeah, it's so that's Myrtle Beach is coming up too. So
that says something gaming. 2446. Hey, Shane. Shane. That was,
so pretty good. Right now, we don't have a motorcycle for Panama City. Myrtle Beach, we're going to, one of the guys at Rick Rack is going to let us ride his touring bike that he's got. And so we're going to be set up there. Once the rally starts, they get there, we'll have that bike for 10 days. So that'll be kind of cool. Other than that, we kind of, Stephen drop us off places up to. Leesburg, we're getting a bike from the dealership. I think we're renting a bike at a very good price. So that's okay. So Panama City, I don't have anything set up yet. We're got to call Harley, and they act like maybe they could get one through the dealership. I don't know what happens. But at this moment, I don't have a bike. I don't want to go to Rick Rack and ask him again, borrow that bike again. So I don't know. Right now, I don't know what we're going to do for Panama City. It'll suck if we don't have a bike. Because there's places like Miss Newbies and over at Hammerhead Fred's, it's really hard to find. Well, really, in any motorcycle rally, it's hard to find car parking. And you almost need something. There is a good chance we may be doing Biketoberfest. We found another place to stay at, right in the middle of all the action, that we can RV, use somebody else's RV and stay there. So that might be pretty cool. We end up getting the numbers back from, which I'm not going to give out the numbers, and I'm not going to tell you well, you could look it up. There was 5 YouTubers that they hired, and they gave us a QR code that you had to scan, and we blew them all away. They all averaged 100 to 500,000 subscribers. Us small little channel with 32,000 subscribers blew them away with all of your help checking out their new app and all the stuff that they had going on. And so they were so overwhelmed this year, they're going to hire 3 of us to come back. And so it'd be kind of cool. And so I said, we're open to it, but it's going to be a little bit more this year because airline tickets is going up, and you need to call them next week too. And they need to do something. We need to know so we can under our Oktoberfest.
All right.
Because if they want to do something, we need to know, because airline tickets they said they're going to jump again as soon as they decide to charge more for gas. So this year it cost us about $300 to $400 more to fly into Daytona this year than we did last year. And so here we're doing Leesburg. It's a little.
But if you look up, what is it? 85% of our gas is coming from the United States?
Yeah. Well, 60% of the gas that the United States uses comes from America, US, comes from Mexico, and Canada.
So we're not using that straight.
And I used to own a gas station back in the 80s. And that's when there was a gas shortage back then. There was never, ever, ever a gas shortage. Remember that. When gas gets pumped out of like Iran, let's say we're getting Iran from Saudi Arabia, wherever they're shipping that gas from, you know how long it takes for that tanker to get here? Because that comes as crude oil. Then they have to take it to a refinery. They have to refine it. Okay. So if like we are, they have to come around the Panama Canal and come around to California to drop the gas off. They're on the East Coast, it's a little closer for them. So here's how long it takes from the time that tanker is filled to the time that gas gets in your car is 1 year, is the average. But yet, as soon as that price of barrel goes up, they instantly raise the price of gas.
That day.
So it's all of a political thing. It's also about corporate CEOs that want to make, which it is. When we grew up, when our parents grew up, the working man can make really good money. Now the only people that really make good money are corporate people and the people that own stocks. You own stocks and stuff, that's a whole nother story because I was a president of the union. You wouldn't believe these 75, 80-year-old people that are investing in these companies and all they care, they don't give a rat's butt about any of us. They only care about their dividend check every month, whatever they're hitting it in. That's all they care about. It's sad. And that's probably the downfall of America because they've hired all these CEOs that, once again, they don't know nothing about the business that they're running.
Well, and that's the thing. They're making billions of dollars. So what do we have to pay to buy their product that they're making $1 billion a year? We're the ones that are getting gouged and they're making all the money. And it's like, none of it's right. I mean, just when we talked about that Heavy Ed, when he said about buying
Yeah, he could make you a custom build bike for under $25,000. Where that same bike would cost you, if you went to OCC Choppers or someplace like that, you would be paying close to $150,000. That's what he says. I don't understand why people want to spend that kind of money. So if you want a custom, go back and watch the video. You want a custom built bike like you want. Same thing. You're thinking about buying, you're thinking about going out and buying a bike. That's what kind of drives me crazy too. Which we have a couple subscribers have done it, is put like a 131 engine on your bike. And I'm like, what are you after? Are you going to race it? What are you doing with the bike? My bike will do over 100 miles an hour by myself. I don't ride that fast. Been in the 90s, but I don't normally, we've probably been 100, but not very. But it's not, I only got a 110 motor. But it's like people do it. I said, because they want to say, well, see, I always say the same thing. I said, that's what's wrong with the industry of motorcycles is most of us that are in this age group that we are, that when we were 16 years old, we had a car that we fixed up. I had a 1970 Plymouth Duster, had a 3 on the tree, had a 6-cylinder in a straight 6, had 100,000 miles on it. It even had the Baby Moon hubcaps on it. It was a basic plain Jane model. I changed that car. I put a V8 under the hood, 318. 4-barrel carburetor on it. I put a 3-speed on the floor. I cut the console out of the floor, the hump, and took one out of another car to put it in there so it looked original instead of just having a stick up like some of those guys would do. Took the column out of the car, so I didn't just take the shifter off. I put a new column in the car. I used one from another car. I had a bench seat in the car. We put buckets in the car and jacked it all up, put 50 wide tires on the back, put 70s on the front. And that's what I did. I did that mostly through my high school. Well, I guess I did a little bit after too. But that was the car that I put money in, and that's what I did. Well, a lot of us now do that with Harley Davidsons because Harley Davidsons, I don't know so much as new models, but the older models, the parts are endless that you could do with your bike. So we're living through our childhood again, our teen years, doing that. And every guy that I've asked, that's anywhere from about 45 to 80 years old that are still riding, ask them that question. They all say the same thing. Yes, I had a car that I spent a lot of money and time fixing up.
Putting a stereo in it and all that stuff.
I did that. The minister talked about it today. Quadrasonic sound.
Yep.
I had that on mine. Speakers in the back, triangle speaker sitting on the back.
We were asking about, what was it, Flowmaster?
Yeah.
And he said it was a high-end exhaust. And I said,
it was free flowing. It's kind of like, well, one of our shops down here says they sell Flowmaster. I don't know if they're even in business anymore. It's kind of like Thrush mufflers, THRUSH. That was a big thing. Glass packs. It was cherry bombs. I had those on my car.
There's Danny.
And so
Danny's on.
So we had a lot of different things like that. Danny.
Yep.
We need to talk. Danny. You don't have to come on.
No.
But
call us when we get done.
We need to. I'll be late for it.
Well, I guess.
Would you?
5, 6, 7.
He's one of our new sponsors.
Yep.
That paints bikes. So he's going to start doing. You've seen this, like when we were in Daytona this year. I can't believe how much that guy's charging. If you ever been at Teddy Morris's, out towards the front of the building, there's a guy that has like fender. You can get a fender, a gas tank, all your body parts painted, custom. And he's like almost $9,000 now. Send them to him, he'll paint them, and you exchange parts. And Danny here, he's going to start doing that. and at a lot better price. And so he's got a couple different options that he can do. He goes to some of the rallies. He can pick up your parts, or if he knows what you have, he might have something that he can paint ahead of time and exchange with you. So he's another one of our new sponsors, but he's got a paint shop. And so one of our sponsors when it shows up. Green
Body Shop? Green's Body Shop. I think is what it is.
Put
Look it
at
up
the
for
end.
sure.
Not on this end, but a normal video. I guess he had a web. Put something on. What did I put at the end of it? Let's see. So there you go. So yeah, pretty exciting. Another great year coming through. Hopefully this year, hopefully Daytona took off good. Hopefully the rest of it will stay really good. Overall, we haven't really done as well. I screwed up last year because it's my fault that I thought a lot of the vendors had paid for 2025 to be in sponsors to help us out, and a lot of them didn't. And I kind of screwed up on that. And so we'll come the end of the year.
Green's Body Shop.
At the end of last year, I was like, we're out of money. And
in Carrollton, Georgia. You know where Carrollton, Georgia is? On Alabama Street.
There you go. Easy to remember, Alabama. So
in Georgia.
So this year, that's why I said we have some people that actually give us money, but a lot of the people do things to help us out. Some of them will give us a place to stay. Some of them give us
bikes to ride.
So it's not always necessarily funds to where you might look at somebody and think, wow, they must be making a lot of money. Well, the only thing we're probably a little more honest than most people. There's a lot of people out here that are making way more money than we make.
I was talking about glass packs. That's what I had in my car.
That's Cherry Bomb.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I was called them glass packs.
Cherry Bomb. Well, that was a brand name. Little Cherry Bomb. We'll use.
Knew it made a lot of noise and it went fast.
And so, yeah. So this year we're finally starting to get some of our sponsors coming back. We picked up a couple of new ones. We got a couple of them now that Tech Boys, they just picked up for Daytona. Actually, we're thinking about maybe doing that with some other vendors too, where we give them, they pay per rally, which actually worked out a lot better because I only had a certain time to do these so many videos and then I'm done with them. I don't have to think about all year long because we happened with Twisted Tea last year. We didn't end up putting out as many videos as we're supposed to have done 10. I think I did way more than 10, but
it's hard to go back and find. We need to have a spreadsheet and check them off as we do them.
Yeah, because it makes it tough to know. Because a lot of times we don't say, well, today's video is sponsored by Twisted Tea. And then we go and do like Wide Open not Wide Open Custom, but All About Customs. So what we do with him is we always film his booth and he talks about, some of the people we always get them during the rally. We film what they're doing, and then we have them do a goodbye and tell you where they're coming at next. So that's what a lot of the people are getting. That's their benefit that they get. Now, we do have a couple people that aren't giving us anything, and some of them we don't do anything for anymore because it's just gotten to be where it's just too much time. A lot of you that watch us all the time, if we go to a rally and we spend the whole day talking to vendors, then we go to the next rally, we're probably talking to the exact same vendors all in the same order again. And they're all saying kind of the same thing. But I did see, which I was trying to put it on, but it wouldn't go on. Dan Kite's son, Brian Kite, is going to be out at Cave Creek. So it's the first time he's never been to Arizona Bike Week. So if you're looking for some pinstriping to be done, he is somewhere in Cave Creek. Let's try to see if you probably go to his Facebook page, Brian Kite. And he put a thing up today and I tried to copy it and paste it, but all it did is put the link up. I don't like doing that because then you can't.
I'm only hearing you 75% of the time. He yells at me. You got to be right in front of the mic.
So I don't know. So Brian Kite, which is Dan Kite's son that does pinstriping and all that kind of great stuff. He's going to be at Arizona Bike Week, but he's going to be somewhere in Cave Creek. So if you go to
when we find
Facebook
where he's
page,
at, we'll let you guys know.
And or when we're there,
there's only a straight shot that goes through Cave Creek. It's like Main Street in Daytona. There's only one Main Street in Daytona. There's only one road in Cave Creek. And that's where the bars are and the vendors are and everything they got going on is down at one road. I don't even know what the name of that road is.
Cave Creek Road.
I don't know. Need something to eat? I'll be listening, Neil says. There you go, Neil. When are you guys checking into Leesburg?
Leesburg, we get there on Tuesday.
The 21st of April.
There you go. 21st of April, we will be in Leesburg. First day, we're probably not going to have a car or have a motorcycle. Probably won't be getting up till Wednesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Probably back off Sunday. Got a call on that Monday too, and they're open.
Verify everything.
Should be. And get that all straightened out and that all okayed. There we're in a hotel. We're actually in the Best Western in Leesburg. Didn't have anything else. We used to stay at the campground, but we're not bringing the trailer out. So, that's one of the reasons we're probably not going to do Leesburg next year.
We could probably stay at Camp Easy Ride.
You want to stay at Camp Easy Ride? She won't sleep in a tent anymore.
Person.
She's actually Marcus that runs Camp Easy Ride, another one of our sponsors. And I appreciate he's been good for all along. And
he was actually the first one that kept bugging us about a sponsorship.
Yeah. So he's the one that got us thinking about doing this. So he's been with us since we started doing sponsorships. And he's thinking about that. He asked me, what's the reason you guys don't stay in a tent anymore? And I said, well, one of the reasons is we had a tent when the kids were little and we got rained out one time. And she says, I will never stay in a tent again. We did stay one night in Leesburg in it, but the trailer was there too. So we could say we had been in his establishment. But he was thinking about getting these, they're like cabin tents. And where they'd be more like a cabin versus a trailer or a regular tent. And he said, would that make a difference? I said, it's possible. But I mean, we're at the point where if it's hot, like here, if it's going to be in the 80s, we're going to have the air conditioner running in the trailer. I don't want to sleep in a tent. But see, the other problem we have is we have to have internet. I have to have electricity. I have to have all that stuff. Well, he's got a thing for you to charge your phones up and stuff, but not enough electricity to run a computer and all that. But if it gets really hot, then I could end up having trouble with my hard drives and my computer and everything else, which I can't afford to have because we're doing this every day.
Yes, but I don't know if you're going to be there by then. Eric wants to know if we're going to have any organized rides to Tortilla Flats. We're probably going to do that Tuesday, if you're going to be there Tuesday before the rally starts.
It just depends on how the rally's going and what all we get done on, because now we're only going to have one day to ride before. We were thinking we were going to do it Monday and Tuesday, but we're moving Monday. We got a couple people at...
we could do Tuesday or Wednesday, because we're not going down there till Friday, right? Or no, Friday. We're getting there Friday.
Yeah, we're there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's Cave Creek. Then Monday we move.
Yeah, so Tuesday would be the 7th. Yeah, so I guess it is right.
So yes, there's a possibility. We've done all these rides like 20 years ago. So I got to sit down and figure out where all these places are at that we went to and map it all out. We always try to hit all the dealerships too. Somewhere along that line, we're going to try to hit 3 or 4 of the dealerships that are in the area. We have
one we won't go to. Intent. Mesa. Like and subscribe, Big Ben says. How you been? You know, they did a bare knuckle fighting championship somewhere. I think it was, I saw it advertised. Was it in Mesa? I don't know. And I was wondering if you came to that. I was thinking, I wonder if Ben went to that. I don't know if you did or not, but we're not too far from that.
Well, they're having some fighting in Arizona, some kind of...
That's what I said, Mesa.
Well, no, this is going to be in Scottsdale.
That's right. But yeah, that wasn't the same thing.
No, it's some kind of fighting, but it wasn't called bare knuckles. She called it something else. So I don't know what she's having. Because she tries to bring in that's what's wrong with a lot of the rallies. There's a lot of times they do the same thing every year and nothing changes. So then some of them like this, she's bringing in some of the things did really good. And then there's other things that she's trying to bring in. So like here, she's got one day or 2 days, they're going to have some kind of fighting.
Arena fighting. Is that what it's called? Arena fighting.
That's what it was. And then there's another thing that they're going to do some training. I don't know if that was flat track racing or what, something I've seen that they're going to do some training and then you get to get involved with that event. So we'll find more as we get closer to the event. When we did the Zoom call with her the other day, it was just really bad. She had bad internet and you couldn't really see her too much. So where her office is, she's not really got the best internet in the world. So a lot of people always look at download, but we need upload. We are sending videos or we're doing a live like this. I've got like 500 down, but we only have 100 going up, which 100 is great. But that also, we had that problem when we were in Daytona too, because I was editing during the days at times.
Arena War Fighting Series. That's what it's called. Arena Wars Fighting Series. I don't know. They didn't say anything about me. Yeah, Big Ben. Are you going to be around Leesburg if you come up, Big Ben? We still never got to meet you. That's a different company. He said, okay. We're coming soon. Are you going to go back to, are you going to go to Leesburg? Big Ben's writing all this. We have done one day. We have one in Daytona in May. Okay. And then back to Sturgis again. Yeah, we didn't get to see you in Sturgis last year either. I think, did we go up there? I don't remember.
It was weird because last year we did so much with the Full
Thanks,
Throttle
Ben.
Saloon.
He likes your studio.
Full Throttle
I got that
Saloon.
from another YouTuber.
Yeah. And he gave us the idea. And but yeah, it's now you made me forget.
I don't know. Your people were talking. We were answering their questions. I don't know either. We're talking about what's going on at Arizona Bike Week.
So what's next? Could be great weather. If you can come out, come on out. Anybody know much about Eagle Rider? I haven't done any homework on that yet, but they're no longer at Teddy's. And somebody told me, which we didn't have time when we were in Las Vegas, they said they're no longer in the Las Vegas store either.
Yep.
So I don't know what's going on with them.
I tried to call that guy last Monday, I think,
you?
and he doesn't say he's with Eagle Rider. It just says the person you're trying to get a hold of, you can't. So I was going to call when they open, which I never did call back, and ask if that guy still worked there. If not, I've got the head of the VP department of Eagle Rider.
Eagle Rider is what happened in Teddy Morris. They were out in a tent
Outside.
Let's see if
It says they've got guided rides and unguided rides.
yeah.
It still says their main location is on La Segunda, however do you say that name, out by the airport. Never could say the name of that street. Half the streets in Los Angeles I could not pronounce. There was one that I was called Barracuda. I have no idea what the name of that street was.
Well, the major city. I don't know if they've gone.
But
now.
I noticed it said they had Indians, Hondas, Triumphs, blah, 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 and Harley Davidsons. So it was like the bottom of their list, and they listed all these other ones they had. So I don't know. Maybe they ventured out into. That's why Harley said, if you're not going to specifically do us, then can't be in our dealerships. I don't know. Don't know. See who else wrote. Great weather coming. No more triple digits. Thank goodness. Yes. Although I don't mind 100, 110.
Out here, not in Florida.
No, that's what he was saying.
So we don't know what else is going on. Getting ready. We'll see how many of you show up for Arizona Bike Week. And then it seems like we have a lot of people coming for Leesburg. Don't have a whole lot, which I guess maybe that's what I was talking about. I never did really finish that story. About a newsletter that somebody's wanting us to do. And
I just think it's just going to be one more thing that we don't have enough time to do.
Well, we kind of got into it and said a little bit, but it's like he just said, well, why don't you just write down what you're going to cover? Well, we don't know what we're going to cover. We have a few favorite places that we like to always hit, but that doesn't always happen either, because that ends up being that it's usually a place we probably hit at every rally when we go every year to that event. Like, for instance, in Panama City, we like to go, which last year we didn't go to that. We like to go to McGuire's. Well, they have one now in Panama City Beach. It wasn't any good compared to the one that's over in Destin. So we never made it to Destin. So this year, I can guarantee you somewhere along the line, we're going to Destin to the McGuire's. Now, 2 years ago, we actually went there twice, because I think we went on
Three
Ronan and
times.
a couple other people wanted to go with us.
I think Des went with us from Road Wind Therapy. And then I think we went ourselves, and then somebody else wanted to go too. I guess the next night was chicken, and you wanted to do chicken. So we went back and did the chicken, and a few people went with us then.
So it's one of the places that it's a great place. It's just cool. It is. Now, that's not even the original one, which we've never been to the original.
Myrtle Beach, yes. Laconia, no.
Laconia, we don't do anymore. A lot of these rallies, when you go to them, Laconia for one is way too far away. You might say, well, Myrtle Beach is a far away. Well, yeah, but we're already down in Panama City. So we're going from Panama City to Myrtle to there. Well, the problems that we have right now with Laconia is we have no place to stay. I have no motorcycle. Those are our two biggest things. And how are we going to get there? So once again, if you look at,
because I don't even know where the closest airport is to Laconia. You probably have to fly to Boston and then drive up.
I don't know. So then you got to rent a car. So those are the things you got to look at. So if you look at this, if
I bet you Wilkins would give you a bike, but
that's out of the way too. It's not really on the way. So I don't know, but that would be my problem. So you're probably going to be looking at about $1,500 for a hotel, between $15 and $2,000 for something in town. There's very few places to stay there. Then you got to figure out what I'm going to do with the motorcycle. You can't go to that rally without a motorcycle. It is just awful, the traffic there on the weekend. So I'd either have to ship my bike there. So that's in June. So that's our first problem. We're already in Sturgis already when that starts up. So same thing when we quit doing Milwaukee because they moved it up, which everybody's having a shock that Harley Davidson's no longer doing it every year. You know, they've only been doing that since the 120th. Before that, it was every 5th year was their anniversary, and the off years they went around and did the National Hog Rally Day.
Like this year, they're going to do it down in Branson.
Yes, in September. So and everybody's having a big heart attack about this, and it's like, get over it, dude. It's not that big of a deal.
And they just started doing it. So,
and I think why they did it was they'd
only done it 3 years because the 120th was in 23, so they would have done that anyway. So they did it in 24, in 25. Now so it was 2 years they did it. And they're not going to do it no more.
They would have done it in 25 anyway, because it would have been the anniversary.
No.
Oh.
2003. So you have to figure the math.
Oh, yeah, on their 5.
So it was a 23rd was under.
So, but I mean, people are having a big old stink about it. And to me, a lot of insurgents, they got mad about it because they felt that they were
infringing.
Harley tried to say that, oh, well, it would take people could go to both. The average person can't do both because it's
too much.
It's your vacation. It's like us. When we had a working job, we had 2 weeks. We picked Sturgis as the rally that we went to for those 2 weeks, and that's where we went. We did like Laughlin, which wasn't very far from our house. It was about a 250, 300-mile ride.
Leave on a Friday night, get down here.
Or maybe we take one day off of work, which wasn't the end of the world. So we could get there like on a Thursday or something and stay Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back on Sunday. And so, but other than that, we really didn't do, once Sturgis came out, it wasn't, I had done Reno before that time. We'd gone to Reno and did that rally. Well, I guess I did without her with the guys. And, but that was in Las Vegas. I guess I went once without her, and then you came once. So I guess we did it twice when Las Vegas. Las Vegas is supposed to be coming back in October. We'll see. Don't have any real information on it. It's supposed to be the same promoters coming back and doing it again. So I don't know. It kind of sucked before. It was the same thing. They had over at Cashman Field. They charged you to get in to see the vendors. We never paid, never went in there. I have no idea who the vendors were or anything else. And dealerships did stuff. That's kind of why they built a big Las Vegas one. Put a big stage back there because they thought they were going to start having concerts and stuff down there during the bike week thing. Never happened. So
COVID came and that was the end of everything. Laughlin, Vegas, Reno's pretty much over and done with, other than up in Virginia City.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the West Coast, left, which is sad because there's so many motorcycles in California than anywhere else. Plus, in California, you can pretty much ride almost year round. There's not very many days you couldn't get on.
And there's a lot of nice riding too.
And so it's like, why they couldn't get something going? They're supposed to be getting the Love Ride going back again. We did it a few years back, way back. We did that.
And Hollister was supposed to come back last year.
And that was a fiasco too. It didn't turn out like they had too many requirements, and so that we talked about that before. But I mean, it's just the West Coast has a real hard time getting their rallies put together. We used to have the Laughlin River Run. Now we have the Bullhead City, and that's slowly disappearing too. Handful of people coming out, and it was always, which the guy that took it over, he ran the tattoo show, and I always told him, go back to the roots, go back to where what they did was just bring people over. Well, he tried to be real big. He rented a the park. He rented a pavilion, big giant inside thing, had bands and stuff. And it's gotten smaller and smaller. I think he's back to just the park now. And you can't get any big trucks. I try to tell him, move it to this, like here, the weekend after Arizona Bike Week, have it the exact next weekend. That way, those trucks, the few that did come out, they'll stay one more weekend.
It'll make it worth their while.
Oh, I'll be right back.
I told you only got 15 minutes left anyway. Yep. 6 o'clock. You got 10 minutes. Do you expect the price of diesel will affect the attendance of at the big events? I think the vendors will still go, which they all have big rigs that they pull out, all the big trucks. It might make a difference for them coming to the West Coast because a lot of the big vendors are on the East Coast. So for them to drive all the way across the United States, they're gonna have to weigh that. And like I said, Arizona Bike Week is not charging the public to get in to see the vendors. So in return, how they made up that money is they're doubling, if not tripling, the price for the vendors to vend there. So they're still getting their money, but they're taking it out on the vendors. So we get in as attendees get in for free, but the price for the vendors jacked way up. So if a vendor was going to come out and bring their big rig, and let's say they were paying $2,000, and they said, okay, well, we'll be out there. And then they say, okay, well, now it's going to be $6,000. They're going to say, whoa. It's going to cost me double that to get there in gas. And now you're tripling my charge for a vendor.
Now, this isn't the first time gas has been on a roller coaster before. Back in the 80s, when I had my gas station, it almost peaked $5 in Illinois. Really close, $4.89 or something. It's in the 80s. So if you go back about 4 or 5 years ago, when we were doing
the last time we pulled the trailer,
when we went up to Laconia and all that,
yeah,
it got to be
2023. We never paid $6. It was $5.98 or something we paid in New York, but we never paid over $6 for a gallon of gas because we have our diesel card too, so that helped a lot.
A little bit of a discount. So,
but it was real close
in the long run. This isn't going to last. Yes, gas is going to go up. We may see more, but eventually it's going to come back down. Once again, like we've been watching since the beginning of this, the war in Iran really doesn't have anything to do with our gas. Most of our gas we get from America, Canada, and Mexico. There's no war going on in any of those countries right now. So this is all about corporate America taking advantage of what's going on.
The situation.
It's kind of like, which I've been telling everybody all the time, which I put a new thing out today, where there's no King's Day the other day. There's really only one king.
Jesus Christ.
We go. So other than that, that's it. But what I was putting on everybody's thing is it's just funny, just like these people, maybe some of you were out there marching and stuff like this. Who told you to do this? People are using us as puppets to do what they think is going to change something. That happened yesterday. Nothing's going to be any different tomorrow.
Nothing changed.
They wasted their time standing out there in the sun and the heat and the cold, wherever they were at, marching around, saying whatever they wanted to say. Isn't going to change anything. Just like the Black Lives Matter, when they did all their thing, tore up all their towns and stuff like that.
Antifa.
It isn't going to change anything that's going on. So I don't understand, but it's all about showing diversity of what's going on. Everything that's been going on in our country for the last 20 or 30 years is all about dividing our country. And it's to get us to fight against each other. And we're not watching what they're doing. So if you started looking at some of these, like we were in California. I work for a very big union in California. I work with Sacramento. I work with people like Pelosi and a whole list of those people I could rattle off that I've dealt with. Don't care for any of them. I know more about them than I need to know about them, and I know more than I don't want to know about them. That's when I pretty much figured out politics. They're all crooks. Doesn't matter who they are, because you have to be crooked to get anything done, or they wouldn't do anything for you because they want favors. And with lobbyists and all the stuff that's going on in the country, it's all about them getting rich and us all getting poorer. And people don't get that. It's just like the illegals. You know, this country always, yes, there's always been immigrants, and there's nothing wrong with immigrants coming to our country, but you should come in the right way. You should process. but so many people came through and it made it chaos and crazy and all this stuff. And it's like, people don't really, I actually looked it up the other day. Google on your phone right now, what is a king? And it actually came up with somebody that's more of, it's kind of like the Queen of England or the King of England. They really have no power to do anything. They're there to be pretty and make special appearances and stand on the ledge and talk. It's kind of like the Pope. He's got a job, runs the Catholic organization, but other than that, he has no control to do anything. But he's out there and everybody's standing there and applauding him and believing everything that they
Bowing
say.
down to him.
And so it's that's the problem with our country until people, what should I say? We grew up. My dad was a Republican. Our neighbor across the street was a Democrat. And they stood out in the street many days and chatted about different people that were running. Never got in an argument, never got mad. They actually had common sense. They talked. And yes, at the end of the day, I may totally disagree with you, but you're not my enemy. And that's what's happened to our country is these people are making us do this. It's not, there's nobody out here that's really hates everybody like that.
If whoever's pulling the strings, whoever that might be,
and it's not
they're
China,
fighting,
it's not Russia.
They're making us against each other where we probably wouldn't have been if these people, whoever are pulling the strings,
wasn't
keeps
feeding the
pushing.
fire.
Yes.
Feeding the fire. And it's all
Poking the
about,
bear.
see what's going on over here. Look over here. See what's going on here.
That's why when something big happens, I always think what's going on. Because it wasn't that big of a deal. Something, whatever. Oh, when, and God rest her soul or wherever she may be, that Nancy Guthrie, it was such a big deal. And it might have been because we live in Arizona. And I mean, it was like on 24/7 about her. And I was like, something else is going on. I mean, people get taken all the time and they disappear. And yes,
and her daughter's not that famous. She's just a newscaster. It's not like somebody like Clint Eastwood or somebody that's a famous actor or something like that. I mean, even at that, it's
a shame, and it should have never happened.
They get so much more coverage
publicity
than somebody down the street that had their daughter kidnapped or their parents, somebody disappeared or whatever. You know, there's people all the time that we've known some people that have gotten kidnapped down in Mexico and got killed. And it's like, you know, once it happened, it's like, okay, nobody's telling us what's going on, you know, and we talk to the people and their friends like, we don't hear nothing. Well, then one couple, they ended up finding they killed them, but the other couple, they never did find them. But we have no idea where that. We have a girl out here in the river that got killed 4 or 5 years ago in the river. Still ain't never found her body. And, but that things happen like that. But it's like, you wonder, why is it so much coverage on that?
That's what I thought. I thought something else is going on because even when I think we just had left, we went somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, it was like, and it was pretty much being covered there too. Not as much here in Arizona, but it was still, you know, everybody was just talking about it. And it's like something else is going on. This shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Because now you got to almost Google it to hear something about it.
Yeah.
Until their daughter talked the other day.
Yeah.
And then got news again.
But it was that made me think.
Well, that and the other
something
people that
else
always
is going
say,
on.
he's not my president. You know, there's a lot of people that have run. We've been voting for president since we've turned 18 years old. So there's been a lot of people that have gotten in office.
How you doing?
That I didn't vote for and I didn't like, but they still were my president. I respected the guy. He's either going to be there for 4 years, he's going to be there for 8 years, and he's going to be gone.
Direct.
The guy that's in there now, in another 3 years, 2.5 years, he's adios. Somebody else is going to come in. And it's like the world's not going to change overnight. And what the problem is once again, and Ryder X would admit to this too, that they're dividing all of us up. There's no reason.
We're all being lied to.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter who it is. And we've talked to people. We've talked to some Democrats and some Republicans. And it's funny how they have different information. And because they're feeding you what they want. Check the news. There's no such thing anymore as Walter Cronkite or the news that we grew up in the 60s and
it's
70s.
All entertainment.
Where people told you, hey, there was a shooting today and here it is, and they go on. And here was a car thing, this happened. Oh, and here's the weather. Nobody said, here's what we want to shove down your throat. We want you to see this story. And we're going to tell you this because now what all these people are, it's kind of like people watch Kimball at night. Dude, he's got a comedian show. What do you think you're watching?
Well, a lot of those TV shows, even like on Fox or whatever station you might watch, it's all entertainment. It's not really newsworthy information.
They're all about ratings.
And then it's like my dad. My dad used to watch CNN over and over. And when I was younger, and I'd go visit him, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, they're saying the same thing
Every hour on
every
the hour, it's the
single
same show
hour."
over and over.
And
I
I
mean, they're
was
all that
like,
way. If you watch Fox, NBC, all of them, if you're watching them all day long, it's just the same crap that they roll around. But they're always saying, "Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing." See, nobody ever says that's what they're doing. Hey, here's what you can do now. Here's the phone. It used to be that way. They used to tell you the phone numbers of your senators and all that stuff.
congressmen.
Call them. Tell them what to do. Well, now they just tell you, look what he's doing. He's doing this and this and this and this and this. He can't do that.
Well, it's the same thing when people run for politics. I think that should be illegal, that you should only be able to talk about yourself, what you've done, what you stand for, and what you want to accomplish. That's it.
So we can tell you why I know this, because first time I ran for president of our union, this girl slandered me. And I got witnesses at this was at SoCal Gas in California. I can say it now because I don't work for them. And it was at one of the bases. And she was out there slandering and saying things about me that weren't true. So I got witnesses. I got them to sign documents. I got them to, they would get them notarized if I had to. I went to get me a lawyer, sat down with this lawyer, and he says, "Okay, tell me what's going on." Well, first I told him all the things she's saying. Well, no, back up. Tell me about this election. He says, so I started talking. He said, "Well, let me ask you this question. How do they vote?" I said, "Well, they mail ballots to their house and then they mail them back in." He says, "You're done." I said, "What do you mean you're done?" He says, "That's called politics. She can say anything she wants about you, and there's nothing you can say about it or nothing you can do about it because it's politics. Because you voted and there's a ballot. She's protected. If you want to badmouth her, you can do that." Well, I'm not one of those people that would do that. So that's what happens when you see all these politicians. They run their mouth and they promise you everything in the world. It's like this one moron in California, and he's going to be a Democrat, but I mean, it doesn't make any difference if Democrat or Republican. But he's trying to say all this stuff that it's kind of like the guy that was in New York there saying he's going to lower everybody's, they're going to give all this free housing to everybody and all this stuff. Well, who's going to pay for it? Somebody's got to pay for it. The government is financially broke. That's why many years ago, we voted for Ross Perot, because I always said, I owned a business back then. And I said, if you ran this country like a business, Fredericks has got a business. If you owed that much in debt, you'd be bankrupt. The United States should be bankrupt. You can't keep spending all this money, but it boils down to the stupid things that go on, like all these contractors that are doing the highway work and all that. That's somebody's brother, a brother of somebody in the government that got on this contract. And they're making, it's like years ago, it was Al Gore when he was running. Who did we figure out he was running with?
I don't remember.
But she voted for that. He was a Democrat at that time. She voted for him because he said, "Look at this. We're paying $50 a roll for toilet paper at the White House. That is ridiculous. I'm going to go through and I'm going to get, if we have to," back then it was Kmart. "We're going to go to Kmart and buy stuff. We're not going to pay that kind of money." Well, then after he was there 4 or 8 years, he never got anything. He never did any of that. He lied. But that's
never won.
But he was
He
vice
had
president.
the hanging chat. Yes, he did with Bill Clinton. He was vice president with
But
Bill
that's when he
Clinton.
said it was when he was in with Bill Clinton, he was going to do it, because he was in there for the time and he never got nothing done. And so that was the point, was not just because we're picking on him, but I remember because she had said that, that's why she voted, because I voted for somebody else. She voted for somebody else. So we went different roads. But it's the same thing. There's times that I voted for somebody that she wouldn't vote for who I voted for. And she voted for Roseanne Barr one time because she said, "I'm not voting for none of those morons that are running."
I thought she'd do a better job than anybody else, but
I mean, it
it's
wasn't
always
like,
up.
I'm not going to shove a knife in her back because she voted for Roseanne Barr. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want, that's fine. And then that's the way America should be. People should have a right to vote for
Your
whoever you
opinion
want.
counts, no matter what you.
And
your
one of the
opinion
things I
is.
learned from my daughter is you should do your research. I see so much stuff that people on both sides of the parties that put stuff on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, and it's fake. "Oh, he did this. Well, they did this." And then when you do your Google search, and there's a lot of other searches you can use besides using Google. There's a bunch of them out there, and I use a bunch of different searches and find out what it actually is. And sometimes you're actually shocked and said, "Well, they did say that, but they didn't add the rest of the sentence the guy said." So just because he said, "I'm going to do this," but he's going to do this because the other guy is doing that, and by doing this is going to stop that, which in turn helps America. Okay, that makes a little more sense. But when he said, "Well, I'm going to do that," and it sounds like, "Oh, well, we can't have that. We can't have that." And like I said, we're not going to get into all the politics about Iran. Somebody called me the other day on the phone, wanted me to talk, and it's like, I think it was a scam. Called our Pating phone, and I'm like,
It's a
dude, we're not
business phone.
talking. Normally, I don't talk politics, which I don't think this really was politics. We're not really saying any one party, but it's just one of the things is you should love your neighbor. There's no reason that we should hate somebody because they vote a different
Or they
way.
think a
We
different
shouldn't
way.
hate the president that's in office today. We shouldn't hate the president that was there last time. It's just childish games. It's like people playing in grade school. And I don't like him. He's not my president. And it's like, who cares? If you don't like it, then leave the country. Come back in 4 years, and that guy will be gone, or 8 years, however long, whatever president's coming in next. Next president might be here for 8 years. And no, and so many people just go overboard. And it's you got to sit back. That's one of the reasons I love doing motorcycle rallies, because we get taken out of the picture. We don't really watch the news. I look at weather. That's about all I really look at. There's been some shootings at schools and stuff when we've been at rallies, and that's a whole nother issue. The one thing that I always say, they always want to complain about the guns, or the kids aren't all, that they're not right, or they're one party or the other party was the shooter. My one question is, how come nobody ever brings up all these violent games
That the kids
that these
play.
kids play? We have one grandson that shoots zombies and all this stuff, and you ought to hear him in the other room cussing and everything, and he's 16, 17 years old. And it's like she says something to our daughter, and he's like, oh, he's just playing.
Well, she says he's not killing people. They're killing zombies or plants or whatever.
Still killing people.
It's still killing stuff.
Yeah.
So,
But see,
anyway.
one of those kids that did a shooting, I got to look it up and see which one was. When he got arrested, he said, I thought it would reset. That was his only words that came out of his mouth.
Like they would all just pop back up
Like a
and
game
we
would.
could play again.
Yeah. And so I think that makes, because like I said, when we went to were kids, I lived in a Missouri town that people had rifles in their back windows on gun racks. They didn't lock the truck and they were loaded because they go hunting. They used to carry a pocket knife in school all the time. People didn't, I don't know anybody that ever got shot at a school when we were growing up. We had a girl get abducted, but we never had anybody get shot. Normally you'd go out back and you would settle it. If you got a guy, you'd either go out back and settle it, or if you didn't show up, then they already knew, they called you names, and that was the end of that. But that was the way it was. And now with these, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's this now, because people now, as soon as a kid is old enough to hold this in their hand, or they're able to prop it up in their stroller or playpen or whatever they're in, that they can watch videos and the parents can sit over here and play on their phones all the time. I don't know if that's it. I don't know what it is. Something has definitely changed in the last 20 or 30 years. And I don't know. Getting to be, it's like they say, if you know anything about the Bible, it could be coming to the end of time very soon. Yep. All written out. Even what's going on in Iran and Israel, it's all in there. You just got to look it up. They already told us about it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for comments?
That's what you say. If if you read the book, you know how the story ends. So, so it's past your time. That was it. So you can say your thing.
So sorry we got into a little bit of all this. I see some people asking some questions about why somebody's doing this or somebody's doing that. One of the things
you all have your own opinion.
Yeah, that's what it is. One of the things you got to realize is none of us, even if we all got together, isn't going to change what's going on
in the world.
That's right. Things are going to happen. If you read your Bible, you're going to see a lot of that already explaining what's going on over there. We are getting close. Who knows? Could be tomorrow, could be 100 years from now. Nobody knows. Be 1,000. Nobody knows. But it's like there's always stuff going on. But the only thing I would ever say about Iran was they are the ones that have done most of the terrorism in the world. And,
it's better than us getting bombed or A-bombed. Yeah. Although the United States, when it does come time for the end of the world, the United States nowhere in the Bible. So we're going to be obliviated one way or the other. Sorry to say, but
so it's who knows? But I mean, there's nothing we can do with what's going on over there. Congress can vote and do all this stuff. It's just like here, it's which is one of the things I don't really understand, is ICE now has a new leader in the ICE group, but yet the Democrats are still saying we need change. We need change. Well, what's the change they want? First of all, this country, which is what we talked about earlier, should be. There's nothing wrong with people coming into the country, but same thing. You should fill out your paperwork and you go back and wait. And if you got a green card, that's fine, but you need to renew it when it's time to renew your green card. And if you've been here for 20 or 30 years, you should have become a citizen by now. You shouldn't be here on a green card for all that time. We just met somebody the other day that had a wife, and she's been in the States for like 30 years on a green card. Why would you not become a citizen? She ain't going back to her country, so I don't understand that. We have a friend, Art. His mom became a citizen from Mexico. He got born here, and then that's 60 years ago, or 65, 70. I don't know, somewhere along the line.
He's a year older than us, so 66 years ago.
So it's been a while because he was born here. So, but I mean, it's which is really funny with him because he can speak Spanish and all that stuff. He normally doesn't speak Spanish, but his last name is as Mexican as you can get. But he hates illegals, and
because he knew how hard it was for his mom to become legal,
and for somebody to come in and not get, it's like people when we grew up, it was people on welfare. There was people that would just keep having kids just so they could get a check. But yet they lived in the ghetto, but yet they had a brand new car sitting in the driveway. The guy always came out in pimp suits and he was gone most of the time. He only showed up twice a month when the check showed up. And so we already had people back then that was stealing from the government and taking advantage of what's going on. But I mean, it's kind of like people that want childcare, but yet they don't want to work. And I'm okay with somebody offering the government paying somebody for childcare, but you need to work for 40 hours a week. Just because you got a day off, the kid shouldn't be going to childcare because you want to have a mommy day to yourself. Well, that's not really right. If I'm paying for your childcare, you need to be at work. And, it's kind of like some of these people that go to jail and stuff. They make them work. They go out. When we used to live out in California, they made them go out and pick trash up. They brought the little bus out and chains on their ankles, and they pick trash up for the day. Should do that.
Chain gangs, is that what they call them?
That's what, it should be. If you're getting something for free, you should get some kind of compensation for that. Now, in other words, there's an exception. If somebody's handicapped, really handicapped,
or disabled, got hurt,
like they were in the war. And that's one of the things that drives me crazy about this country is because we don't take care of our veterans. So people that have gone out and lost limbs and everything else, and the government don't want to really do anything for them. And, they keep threatening our Social Security. We're on Social Security. We're old enough. But it's like,
we paid into that.
Yeah, we paid into it. I wish when we started working, I could have taken that money and put it in a 401 plan. I would be a multimillionaire now, both of our monies together. So it's like, but they wouldn't allow you to do that. So that was my choice. So my choice was to pay it in. And the odds are, I'm like I did when I started drawing at 62. Well, I figured out at 67, the difference in money. I would have to live till I was 89 years old to make up for the money that I would have made from 62 to 67. The odds are I probably aren't going to make it alive when I'm 89 years old. I'd be lucky to make it another couple more years, but that's another story. But but once again, now the people that really hurt was like my grandpa on my dad's side. He worked for a big corporation, he worked for Goodyear. And he really only paid in his Social Security when it came out just a couple of years.
Before he retired.
And he lived till he was almost 100 years old before he died. So he sucked a lot of money out of what's going on.
And didn't really put in that much.
Yeah. Now you also got people that are getting Social Security and Medicaid.
When you turn 65,
so
Medicaid.
Medicaid, it's never worked. It could be illegals. It could be people like that. Why do they deserve something that we didn't get? Now, she worked at the hospital. And they always said that we never had national health care. Yes, we did. Most hospitals, there's a few exceptions to the rule, very few, that could never turn you down for an emergency. You came in with a broken leg,
heart
attack, cancer treatments. You got hospital would charge the rest of us, our insurance companies, for what they gave away for free. They had people that treated cancer. They had a homeless guy they put in a motel room and picked him up every day and chauffeured limousine.
To make sure he'd show up for his treatment.
Yeah. So it was given, and this is California. So in other hospitals, she's worked in St. Louis at hospitals.
Each hospital is supposed to be allotted so much pro bono work. And if we were at our limit, then we would call up another hospital and say, hey, can you take this guy? I mean, they would take care of his immediate needs, but then maybe send him off to another hospital. But a hospital is never to refuse a person that comes in for medical treatment.
So there was that case. But see, in California, when they came to the Obamacare, you could not go to her hospital for the emergency room. It was a 4 to 8 hour wait. And people were in there with sniffles, colds,
cut on their finger,
whatever it was, because they knew they were getting free treatment. And so we got to where we couldn't go to the emergency room anymore. You had to go. We actually found an urgent care that it was part of the hospital that you could make an appointment that same day and get right in. You could bypass all the people that were trying to get the free stuff because they didn't know how to call in. So we at least got smart enough to where we could get, when I got pneumonia, I was able to go get in and get my treatment and not have to sit there in agony for 8 hours waiting to get in. So it's just like Obamacare. It got all screwed up because the idea was they wanted to make the young kids have to pay, because the average person, anybody that's pretty much under 25 or 30 years old, really doesn't care if they have health insurance or not, because they don't get sick. Kind of like what we did when we were younger. We never had insurance. The work didn't offer it.
We didn't have it.
We never went to the hospital. You know, go to the doctor once in a while. Back then, doctors were reasonable. You could pay $20 or $30 for the doctor, or $25 for the doctor. It was easy to get in and out. Nowadays, it's $150. But insurance back then was high deductible. So they only paid once you hit a level, or if you had a major catastrophe, you had a heart attack, a broken leg, needed
cancer treatments,
whatever, then they would pay 80%. That's it. You had to pay the rest till another limit, and then it cut off again. So that's kind of how it used to be. So what happened was they wanted to force all these young kids. Well, all these young kids ended up saying,
we're not paying it.
Well, we're going to take it out of your income tax. Well, screw you. I'm not working. I'll work for somebody's for cash. So it ended up backfiring to where so the insurance companies are the ones that were supposed to make all the money. They were supposed to get all this money from the young kids paying for their insurance so they could give these other people free insurance. So in the long run, the younger people was going to make up twice as much as what they had to give away for free. Well, that backfired because the kids said, screw you. I'm not paying.
Because that's when all those years when you reported your taxes, you
had to show
proof of insurance.
Yeah.
Or you didn't get if you were getting any money back, weren't getting it back.
So big old things going on. So that's why I said, you got to really look at all the things that are going on to figure out what's really going on. You remember 47 years ago when 52 of our people were held hostage in 44 days. I figured you're too young.
Was that in 79?
No.
I think that was the 79 crisis.
Yeah. Well, we're not that young, Neil. We started a war now, something logic. Well, if you go back, you don't know about the war. You go back to just the stuff in
just from 9/11.
Well, 9/11. You go back to when Clinton, when they had when she was in office, when she was Secretary of Treasury or whatever she was.
Yeah.
She didn't pull those people out of
Bosnia.
Yeah, and that's just a couple years ago.
She was Secretary of State.
I think those were Iranians there at that time. I heard Iran was still working on. Gave the ultimate stop, and see, a long time ago. I don't know how old most people are, but they did have years ago. They had a nuclear deal, which all these countries still had. All the big ones still had it. We had it. Russia had it. Deal. But 18, 19, 20, when you signed up. That was back in the day. But uranium is a long way from weapon.
But you have to remember those people over there. It's weird because I think somebody said the other day that there's like 49 million people in Iran, and there's only 49 million people in Iran. Only 4 million of those 49 million are Iranian terrorists, and they're pretty much the ones that run the country.
Well, we could go back.
So you gotta.
So here's a story. One of our daughters went to school with a Marine. He wasn't a Marine in high school, but he went to Iraq. He fought
Desert Storm or
well,
one
it
of
wasn't
them.
that long. He's only 42 now. He's still in the service. But I don't know if it was Iraq or Iran that he was in. But he came back, and this is probably before we ever moved to Washington. Before we still lived in, we must have just moved out to California. We still living in.
I think we
What
were in
year was this?
California, 2002, 2003.
That we seen him. We must have went back to Washington, Missouri, and we seen him, and we were asking him about the service because he used to do. I guess he was out of Camp Pendleton.
Yeah,
he was testing out that they had tanks that would hover across the water, and he'd been in a lot of. He liked to go for action. He's gotten shot a couple times. Had some bombs blow up too close to him. He's had lots of stuff happen to him. But one of the things he told us back then, like I say, this is almost 30 years ago. Stop watching the news. And we're like, what do you mean? He says, you know, they show us all that stuff that we're killing babies and people don't want us there or
we're
anything
spitting
like
on
that.
them.
And I'm
hate
like,
'em.
yeah, we see that. He says, let me tell you the truth. He says, I'm there. I was there. He says, these people come out of their homes that live there and they bow down and kiss our feet. And we're like, what do you want? And they're trying to pull on their clothes. They want to wash their clothes for them. They want to force food on them. They are so thankful that America was there to get them away from all the crazy stuff that was going on. He says, that's every single day. And I said, yeah, but you see all this stuff on the news. They said, that's the politicians. I don't know if I told this story before or not, but just 10 years ago, one of my friends, his family's originally from Germany. So he still had a cousin that lives in Germany. They came over here to the United States. They were kind of funny because she thought every other word was the F-bomb. She thought that's how we talked. At first, it was kind of cute, and after a while, it got old. They were probably in their early 40s, and they owned a business, and they travel all over. They don't come to this side of the world. They cover like from Greenland all the way down to Australia, Africa, all that kind of stuff. That's what they did. They never came to South America, the United States, Mexico, or Canada. They only did that side of the world. And so this was when Trump was in
Eastern
office
Hemisphere.
the first time. So I said, so she's talking and stuff. And I said, can I talk to you about political question? And she said, sure. I said, I don't want to offend you or anything like that. But I said, over here, we hear a lot of stuff on our news. What do you think of President Trump? This is first term. She said, really? And I'm like, yeah. She said, we would trade him in a heartbeat for a chancellor. And I'm like, really? And so I said, well, what, you go to all these other countries? And they're like, yeah. I said, what does other countries? They said, every one of them that they came up to, the business people that they're dealing with, said they have such a respect for the American today during Trump's first time than they've ever had before. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, yeah, but we see the stuff like they got that big old Trump, looks like a pig balloon that they're flying around and stuff. She says, she just laughs and goes, you don't understand, do you? And I'm like, what? What am I missing? She says, that's our liberal government pays those people to protest. It's in every country. They want to do this and they stage there because they own the networks. They can put on, it's not like here. Well, here it's about the same way. But over there, the countries, they all are regulated more by the government. If the government don't like what they're doing, they just get rid of them the hard way. And so I was like, wow, that just shocked me. So that was Trump's first time. We also know a lot of stuff about, which I'm not going to talk about, a lot of stuff about the COVID. We've met a doctor, and we also met a data collector that collected data. Some of you that have met us, I have told you that story. One of the guys actually watches our channel. So I never wanted to throw him under the bus because they could find him and get him in trouble. But I seen his ID to prove who he was. And the other guy that we met was actually a veteran. He was special forces. And after 2020, half of CDC staff members walked out because they were requiring them to have the shot. And I know some of the things that are in the shot, and I know some of the things that can happen to some of you if you've gotten a lot of the shots. But I don't talk about this because I don't want the publicity. I don't want to call these people out that we got the information from. But I do ask for identification when people tell me something like that's shocking, that I'm like, "Oh my god, can't believe it." And then the doctor reaffirmed a lot of the things that the data collector told me, and he even went more on it
Embellished.
to where I was like, "He definitely knows what he." And so it was very what we do is very interesting because the people that we meet all over the United States when we do these rallies are from all over the world. So that's interesting. Also, when we lived in California, I worked for the gas company and I actually was in customers' houses. I've met a lot of Russians. I've met a lot of Cubans. I've met a lot of Mexicans. I've met a lot of people from all over the world. And that's the funniest thing to do is try to find somebody that lived in another country like Russia or South America or Australia, maybe half their life, 20 years, 25. Then they came to America and became a citizen. Those are the people you talk to. They will tell you the truth really going on in this world because they've lived that side. And I met a Russian. He actually told me he was one of my customers, and I talk to people all the time. And he was telling me, he says, "I love America." He says, "If you want me to, I'll go out right now and kiss the dirt." He says, "That's how well." He says, "Your young people have no idea what socialism is." Because over there, socialism, even the politicians, you only need an army and a dictator. You don't need government. You don't need anybody else but the dictator and the army. That's it. So everybody that's got money and all that stuff, that's all going to go away. And people don't realize, which is what they always said. Well, this one Russian that's what he told me, he said, "You need to send every kid out of high school with a one-way ticket to Russia with no money in their pocket and another ticket that they can come home in 30 days. They said they won't last 2 days before because Russia will give you nothing, throw you in prison." The same thing I always talk about. We lived really close to Mexico, and we have a lot of Mexican flags flying all over California and all different things like that. You go down to Tijuana or any of the border towns, take your American flag and run up and down the streets and yell, "America, USA." I would say, tell me how that works, but you won't be able to. But try it. You do make it. So when people think that this country isn't what it is, you have no idea until you talk to people that aren't from this country, or maybe talk to some military people that actually fought in Iraq or Iran, or something like that. Now, you can always get somebody that's going to tell you lies, but when you talk to a majority of the people, you're going to find that, hey, if 10 people tell me this and two crazy people tell me the opposite, I'm going to believe the 10 people because I didn't get them all together. I don't give them the full story. I want them to kind of their story. And so when you see that, like us, we've been to Mexico, we've been to Canada. That's as far as we've been out of the United States. I don't know nothing's going over as a tourist or anything like that. She used to go to in California to get your nails done. You always had the Vietnamese and stuff like that, and they talk bad about you the whole time you're sitting there. They're making fun of you because they know you don't know. Where you take somebody in there that knows the language, like she had one of her friends that knew Vietnamese, and at the end, the girl talked to her in Vietnamese when she gave her money. And of course, they probably crapped their pants because they had no idea. And so then when they got out, they told all the things that they were making fun of them about. Because they're like, "Oh, yeah, 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 yeah." But, but they're just, that's the way it is. But it's crazy. I love America. I would want to live in a different country. I would protect it if people came on the ground here. I would do whatever is humanly possible to protect family and friends. But I mean, it's I don't hate the guy that's in office now. I don't hate the guy that was there before. I don't hate the guy before him. I don't hate the guy before him. Now, some of those ones in there, I don't agree with. I've never had a president that I'm 100% saying he's the best president in the world. I always say Abraham Lincoln. But I didn't live during that time. I don't know everything Abraham Lincoln did. I support when I always idolized Abraham Lincoln because we were from Illinois. But wasn't there during the time. I don't know. Probably he did some bad things too. That probably wasn't because nobody's ever going to do what you want all the time. Just like us. We can't cover every single. I have people all the time. "Why don't you do Laconia anymore? Why do you not do that?" Well, one of the reasons is we don't have a place to stay. We don't have a motorcycle. It would cost us probably somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 to go to Laconia, and I'll be lucky to make $800. That's the honest truth.
As we
Now,
said, if we run a business like you run, you would be bankrupt. And
we've spent a
that's
lot
what
of
we've
money
been
doing
doing.
this, way much money, too much money. But we love what we do. And we would hope it would have got better. So far this year, Daytona's done a little bit better than we did last year. Enough to where I was like, wow, I can't believe what we did. Still didn't break even on it, but a little better. We'll see how Leesburg. Myrtle Beach has always been one of my Myrtle and Sturgis has always been my game changer. Myrtle Beach was second because people just like to watch that crazy stuff going down there, suck, bang, blow, and Beaver Bar and stuff. So we cover that. That's about the only time we really cover more of that stuff than we do any other rally. And so we're always an informational channel is more what we are. So we don't get the views. We're getting people to watch our channel that are motorcycle people. Or you're thinking about buying a motorcycle. Or you're thinking about going to a motorcycle rally. But we don't get people necessarily that don't own a motorcycle at all. Now, we do have some people that don't own motorcycles anymore that they can't ride bike. We have Skippy that's on our channel. He can no longer ride. He reminds me all the time. He watches every one of our videos. He comments at least once or twice throughout the video. Great guy. We've never got to meet him yet. He's in Ohio.
No, New York.
New York. I'd love to meet him somewhere along the line. I don't know if it'll ever happen or not before one of us is gone. But he's always there. Always got a comment. Janice is another one. She's always there. I have a handful of people that never miss a video, or I see them binge watching because I watch all your comments. Now, there's a lot of you that may be doing that and you don't write a comment. So there's no way that I know
that you watched a video if you don't comment.
YouTube has no record of who watches your videos. So I have no idea. When I have 11,000 people watch, I only know the 800 comments that I got. That's only people I know that, but some of those people didn't watch the video either. Some people write comments, stupid comments, because they read the title and they think they know what the video's about. And I do that a lot because I'll say, you didn't even watch the video. At least read the other comments first before you write something. At least you kind of got an idea what people's writing about. But it's kind of sad that people are like that. But politics is politics. There's nothing we can do about it. Everybody that's in politics is a bunch of crooks.
Just remember the golden rule.
Treat others like you want to be treated.
Love your neighbor. Yep, love your neighbor.
And what years ago, when I was a union president, I dealt with Sacramento. So after my term of working for the union, I had a bunch of people wanted me to run for office, representative California, Southern California, Orange County. And at this time, Pelosi was in office. She was she was in charge of the House. So I said, that ain't gonna work. And she says, why? These guys always say, why? I don't understand. I said, here's what it is. We need $20 million to go out here and fix one of these roads that I need to get major construction because people are getting killed on it and everything else. It's so bad. So who do I got to go talk to? So I write my proposal. I got to go to the House. I got to go talk to Pelosi first because I need her support to get it through the House, right? So I tell her my plan. There's Robert. I went by Robert. Robert, looks really good. I got a few things I need you to okay for me. And I go, I'm not going to play that. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you got something that I think I should vote for, I'll be happy to vote for it. But I'm not going to sign a blank check and give you permission on a bunch of stuff that you want to have because I don't know what you're doing. So then it's not going to get to the House. So then in 4 years, I'll be kicked out because I won't get nothing done. The politics doesn't matter who's in office, Republican or Democrat. You still got to go to those people that are controlling the House at that time and get their blessing. And if you look, like we got a mob museum out here in Las Vegas. I don't know how many billions of dollars they paid for that, but I think it was not sure.
Obamacare.
I think it was in Obamacare's first bill. It was in one of those 5,000 or 25,000 pages. Nobody in Congress is reading all that crap. Now they do have people that read stuff for them. But yeah, if I get a bunch of high school kids out here to give them 10,000 pages of something to read, let me know if you see anything you don't know. What the hell do they know? Yeah, it looks pretty good to us. We used to do that with the union. We got a union contract. Every time we had negotiations, you had to go through each word for word in the old contract of stuff they're not changing. Make sure the company didn't change the word that changed the whole meaning. And we caught them quite a few. I had to have the staff do that. Officers had to do it. We all had to double check ourselves, triple check, quadruple check, because it's easy to miss one word. So the government's not doing that. And that's why we're all screwed. The government is spending our money. You're all worried about Iran. You should be worrying about all these stupid. Why does it take? We've been traveling on Highway 10 for 7 years, and they're still working on some of the same places for 7 years. How long does it take to pour some concrete for a bridge? You're in Texas, or you're in Arizona or Nevada. Not Nevada, but Arizona. What's after Arizona? New Mexico. You live in any of those states, tell me why they're working so long on those bridges. And it's not like they're going down the highway. They're still in this. The construction's all within about a 5-mile period for 7 years. Those people are getting money every day. And the budgets are going up. They just keep extending it. It should be, if I was president for a day, the way it would work is, you want to build me this bridge, how long is it going to take you? Oh, we'll have it done in 6 months. Okay, after 6 months, you have to pay me $100,000.
You have to start paying me then.
$100,000 a day till you get it done. If you get it done on time, I'll give you guys a bonus. You can't sign that. Well, why not? Because you want to milk me. You want to milk it till you make billions of dollars for something that should have cost $100,000s of dollars. But that's the way our government works. Because it's somebody's brothers, it's somebody's brothers, it's somebody's cousin, and they're all getting kicked back. Just like, doesn't matter who it is. We found out when they were talking about I found that out. The FDA, no, it's the CDC. CDC, look up who funds the CDC. The number one
contributor
is who?
Pharmaceutical companies. Pfizer's number one.
Was number one. You just got to look it up. It's right there in the print. You can search it out and you can find out. So here's companies that are controlled by pharmaceutical companies that are supposed to be looking out for our health. Yeah. So whose interests are they looking out for? Their pocket. They're looking for their money. All their interest. How can they have commercials now on TV on drugs? Because she knows she worked at the hospital. A lot of times I look at that and I'm like, what are they treating? She's like, I have no idea what they're.
Because they say initials now. They don't really say the disease. Your WebMD or your CDC or your
What they're
IBM,
trying to do is get you
like,
to go to the doctor and ask for that drug. Used to be when we first moved to California, we had some antacid pills that we took over the prescription. And we get in there to get our physical for the year. And you go, oh, want something stronger? Oh, this works fine. We don't need anything better. Oh, that's something new. You guys can try it out. You want some free samples? Because he's getting paid by the drug company to push that drug. We had one that we took for years, this medicine, and they told her, sorry, the insurance company won't pay it no more. That was crap. And you had to get the doctor to write it 3 times, and we had to call the insurance company in our work to get them to fill that doctor.
They still never would. They never would go back. They still made it, but they would not prescribe it for us. Same thing with the red pills. Yeah. We used to take red pills for migraines, and it was more for tension headaches, and it was really helped. And I don't remember what the name of it was. They were just
the only place pills. We could still get it was the hospital when she worked there. They still were the only ones that could get it.
But they were like,
it was too good.
You can't
too
get
good,
that
too
anymore.
cheap.
Because it worked. That's another thing.
And so when you look at all this stuff, you got to look. It's all about taking your mind off of what's really going on and worry about what they're doing over there.
They don't want you to know what they're doing over there. Wrap it up.
So, it is what it is, and there's nothing none of us can do about it. And that's the part that everybody should just say, the hell with it. Turn your news off. Quit watching TV.
And go out and help your neighbor.
Yeah, go out and do something for your community. Go help your church or help the schools your kids go to. Try to find out what's going on. Maybe you could be security for them. Stop from having some crazy kid coming in with a gun or something. There's so much stuff that we could do. Because it used to be, back in the day, which wasn't that long ago, it was the churches that helped people. It wasn't FEMA that came out and did that. Look it up. FEMA hasn't been around that long. It was actually the churches that would come to neighborhoods and help the kids after floods or tornadoes or whatever it was. That's who did it. We still have churches in our town that have food pantries. We have people standing on the corner out here begging for money. So they can go down and buy their drugs or buy whatever they have. But if you stop and say, oh, here's a card for the church.
Call this number and they'll help you out.
That's because they want money. And so they play into all of us to get what they want. In turn, you feel good because you think you're helping somebody and you're really not. You should find your local food pantry and give money to them and get some of their little business cards. And the next time you see somebody peddling for stuff, hand them that card, like our church. It would help you find a place to stay for the night. They could give you a little bit of spending money if you needed
Clothes.
it to get home.
You needed clothes.
Food. So there's many places. Every town's got a location that's a non-for-profit that can help people out. We don't need people standing on the corner. But once again, it's a monopoly. I'll leave one last story. One of the girls I went to high school with, I seen her on Facebook, and I was writing her back and forth. And she told this story about, she worked at this company, might be in Georgia.
I think
that's where it was, Georgia, where they live. And he's got this guy that would come in at night and sweep the floor. Well, he got really old and he decided, I'm just going to permanently retire. They just kind of paid the guy cash. And so the boss came up, and the girls worked out front. The girl that I go to school with said that they've had this homeless guy standing out in the street, the corner on the medium, begging for money. They said, go out there and offer him that we'll give him $20 cash for probably 3 or 4 hours every night. We'll just pay him cash. So they went by, everything went on. Now it's the end of the day, and the boss comes out and he looks, the guy's still standing out there. And they said, what's the story? Didn't you go out there and talk to that guy? They said, yeah, we did. Well, why isn't he in here? They said, he makes that much in 2 hours. Why would he come in here and have to actually push a broom around?
Have to work.
But that moment's when I decided. I also had a guy one time who was going through trash cans, and I actually went to a gas station, got some gas, and he was digging through the trash can. It was in LA. And I bought 2 Slim Jims, big one. So I walked over to him. It's brand new in a package, never opened. Hey, I want to give you this. I gave it to him, got in the car, looked in the mirror, he threw it in the trash. That was my other reason. I will never, ever, ever give anybody homeless anything, because most of them are there just scamming all of us. And
I don't know what he was digging through the trash for.
I don't know.
You could have got some food that was, unless he didn't like, maybe he was a vegan. He's in California.
But he could have just said, hey, dude, I don't want it. Thanks anyway. And I said, okay, no problem. But to throw something I bought in the trash. But I mean, it's sad that you have people that do that, and you think in your heart you're doing something good for them, and you're just feeding into their addictions or whatever they're doing. We had a guy when we first moved here 10 years ago. We used to still live in California.
You're enabling them. That was the word I was looking for.
We drive back and forth. And there was a guy out here that had a sign that says, ran out of gas. I need to get home. Any money will help. How many months was he out there?
Almost a couple of years.
Same time.
Same guy, same corner. You think you might have moved around a little bit. You're going to see the same people over and over.
So right then, same thing. He's scamming somebody. And so it's really...
How much money do you need to get home? Where do you live? On Mars? I don't know.
But it is. I've seen people do that. I've seen people give $20, $100 bills to people. And it's just sad that we've come to that level. But I mean, America is, but yeah, everybody needs to be nicer to people, get along with everybody. But if your investments, it's just like here, what's the stock market at 47 or 48%? It's still better than when I got out of work. You're still making, guess it was at 50,000, it went down. Stock market's always going to go up and down. Can't rely on that 100%, but the odd, hopefully we'll never, just got home. Crazy Dave's home. Got to put some new pads on your bike already.
Well, he rides a lot. How many miles has he got on his bike?
First statement was false. This is the only I guess they're talking.
Yeah, I don't know what the 4310 is. I don't know.
Been talking. It's really not. All right.
It says there's more at the bottom. I don't know.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
One more. Big. Put a bottom. Oh, that's what he said when I said I was too old. I probably read to 100. But they already read that. I guess they were not really seen that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bike rally starts.
The official air. Okay. So we have 2 rallies going on at the same time. One is Cave Creek. Cave Creek is 1 full week. It starts on Saturday, ends on the following Sunday. So it starts on
the 3rd
of April and runs all the way through that Sunday. Now
12th.
Now Arizona Bike Week
starts the 8th.
That starts at
Westworld.
Westworld starts
the 8th.
The 8th and goes all the way through
to the
Sunday.
12th.
Now most of the dealerships are going to go off of Arizona Bike Week time.
8th to the 12th.
They're not going to be open those first weekend that
I mean, they'll be open, but they're not going to have a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of the vendors there have, a lot of dealerships have, like one dealership there, I can't remember all their names. The one that's got the veteran owns it. He has a lot of vendors on his lot.
Scottsdale. That's almost across the street from Westworld.
Yeah, he's got a lot of vendors there. And there's the other one that's out there that had the midget wrestling, and I think they're coming back again. The midget wrestling's coming back again this year.
Started with a B, didn't
one
it?
is Stubbs.
Stubbs, that's it. Ernie Stubbs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The one that's at the museum and stuff.
Yeah.
In there? So that's that. So if you were going to come to, the reason we're doing the 2 weekends is we're being sponsored by Arizona Bike Week, which is doing Cave Creek. So they're doing Westworld. So we're doing the first half because they're not open yet. We're doing the first half covering Cave Creek. The odds are we might be in Cave Creek the last weekend, but I don't know. This is the plan. First 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be in Cave Creek.
3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Monday, we go
to Westworld.
Westworld. If you're camping there, you can't get in until Tuesday. We get in a day early because we're like a vendor. And we'll be getting all the preview stuff, getting ready for you guys. And then Tuesday through Monday is how long you can camp for. They give you six nights that you can stay.
Am I yawning? No, I was yawning.
So there's that. Hopefully that helped you. Let's see. There's one more.
There's a bunch more.
They're still talking about it. I don't know that house bill. I'd have to look.
Oops. You're going to pin that one. There you go. Yeah, Neil, if anybody's going and looking for a roommate for a cabin in Sturgis, then you can go email us and I'll give you Neil's number.
Crazy Dave says he stopped watching the news years ago. But the only thing I look at now is the weather. Other than that, I really don't care what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, April. Yep. Rick's going to be there. We'll see Rick down there.
Paid protest. Yes, that happened when I was in the union. That's another story, which I won't get into tonight. But back when they had the 1%ers, it was the 99%ers against the 1%ers. This was like when was I in office?
I don't remember.
In at least
2013 through like 2015.
So during that time, they had those college kids. They were protesting. I don't know anyone. Time will tell. I wonder.
I don't know.
When I was in the office.
I don't remember. Is that like dog math? I have a cookie.
Bush, what did he call it? He had something weird. He called it some kind of math.
I don't remember. But I see the memes on Facebook, and they talk about dog math. So when you break a cookie in two, that doesn't make 2 cookies. That's still only half a cookie. Or when you walk out the door and you've only been gone 5 minutes, it's still like 5 hours or 5 days. Nick Shirley. I don't know.
I'll look him up. We do meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
With what we do. Sometimes I walk away and I'm wondering
who was that?
Panama City rally.
Panama City is the 29th of April through the 3rd of May.
I'm going to have to look that bill up.
I don't know. Did you write it down what it is? 4312.
4312. I don't know what that is. Probably once I read it, I'll probably know. JCPenney from Hamilton. Yeah, we used to have a JCPenney.
I think there's still one in Lake Havasu.
Oh, we just went to one the other day. Where was we at that mall?
Oh, yeah.
Where were we at?
Vegas?
Oh, yeah. to Vegas?
Yeah, we went the back way because you had to stop and pee, and we went into Kohl's, and then we went into Vegas, or we went into the mall. You said you want to just walk around the mall, so we just walked around. That was a big one. That's Neil. 5310.
Whatever these bills. I don't really worry. You would realize half the stuff that they're doing that's affecting you, other than these really big ones, you'd be shocked.
What's in all of them?
Yeah. I've read some. When I was in the union office, I sat down and tried, and I never read like Obamacare or nothing like that. But some of these smaller bills, you read them and it's like it's almost laughing when you hear what they're wanting to do with the money and stuff. It's like, and they're voting on it. But see, you don't hear about that because it's not national news. They're giving you the things on national news that they want you to get excited about, good or bad. There's
Art says good night.
Yeah, he's had all he can handle. We're about done too. Trying to go through the last comments. Jeez,
I don't know.
we got 32 people on. You sure writing a lot of comments. Good night. That's big boy.
That's Mike. Mike that's up there in Minnesota.
They're still talking. Apologize.
11K
on the new one.
Oh, that's his bike. I asked how many miles was on it because he did the brakes. He said,
yeah, that's probably because you're pulling your trailer. Why you had to put brakes on something.
Yeah.
Are we done? Yes, we've been done.
Yeah.
Just trying to go brake pads on the Victory. Oh, on the Victory.
I guess XM Biker is trying to get rid of his bike. He bought a Goldwing trike. So he's got a Victory, I think he said, if anybody's in that area looking for one.
Arizona Joe. I think he talked to me. He wrote some comment.
That might have been, that's the guy, I think, from Prescott that is going to have the
gold. Oh, he said JCPenney had the gold.
Mm.
Treat everybody. Hey, I'm all done.
Hurry up and say goodbye before they all write again.
So we're going to leave you right here. Somebody's losing their voice.
I haven't even been the one talking. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We love all you guys. And sorry, we got a little carried away on a couple of subjects, but we love all you guys, no matter what you think, no matter what you believe, no matter how you vote. You ride two wheels, you got the wind in your face. That's why we love you guys. Thanks for supporting us. And our prayers are with you guys. I hope you send your prayers to us. And don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for notifications, support our sponsors, and we'll see you on the next video.
Oh, don't forget to check out my other channel, Bob and Tam's Cars, Trucks, and Tools. I got a few videos I've been putting up there, so I've been going back and forth. What are you saying? Somebody's tool.
I said, we're a tool.
And so, yeah. So, yep. Love your neighbor. Love yourselves. Treat everybody like you want to be treated. And maybe we can change the world.
Yep.
The motorcycle.
One biker at a time. How's that sound?
Yep, we can do that. And night all. Neil says good night.
Rick says good night. See you in Arizona Bike Week, Rick.
E-Guns says good night.
At Guns.
That's a hat sign. Sorry. Far away. Ryder X says good night. He changed his thing. Did he always have?
Yeah, no. He
said Ryder X before.
I know.
Somebody.
I don't know. A couple people, their names have changed to protect the innocent. I don't know.
Maybe their Facebook page got hacked.
It's something. I don't know. There's a few people.
Evil Empire loves us. We love you back. Night, Ryder X. Neil said. And are you guys coming to Myrtle Beach? Yes, we are.
You're going to go. Let us know if you're going to be there.
We'll be there the Tuesday before it starts. Tuesday through Tuesday.
Yeah, so the Tuesday will be May 5th. We'll be there. And then we'll be
I'm not sure what day we leave. We could leave that Monday before.
Yeah, and we leave the 19th probably. Yeah.
We'll find a different area. We're using our points. So yes, we are coming to Myrtle Beach. Ryder X, if you want to
meet up with us.
Yeah.
We'll be there. We'll go to Judy Boone's.
And go to
Mammy's. That's a good place to go for breakfast.
You can get us. We don't know if we're doing Ocean City yet, so I don't know.
That's up in the air.
Yeah, we may not be able to get monkey.
No monkey pancakes.
Yeah. So at that, we'll leave you all right here. And I got a video coming out tomorrow. Make sure you watch that one because I'm going to answer the question that the number one question we get asked at all the motorcycle rallies, biggest complaint too. We're going to come up with an answer.
There you go.
So that's pretty cool. we'll leave you at that.
Bye. I'm out.
Neil is out of town and out of ways.
We are out of the building.
There you go. Longest, it's probably not the longest.
No.
Long one.
Yep.
See y'all later. It's early here.
Only 6:53, 3 hours.
Holy smokes. Bye.
Time for bed.